Welcome back. It's a big fucking day, baby. We have plenty to discuss. There is all sorts of things going on. Investigations, rug pulls, Elon Musk at it once again. And holy fucking moly, we actually have something very, very important to talk about on Bitcoin. I'm not making a, what's it called? A clickbait announcement right here. There actually is something incredibly fucking interesting to talk about on Bitcoin right now, which no one is talking about, right? That's a clickbait. There you go. Anyways, I do actually sincerely mean that. And there are actually some very concerning things going on right now. And within the last couple days here, several things have taken a turn for the not so greatest. Anyways, with that said, I would like to wish you the best and the happiest. Fear not, my friends, fear not. The only difference that's going to be made, as one of our friends in the comments over here has already made, tell me, Krown, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to wake up tomorrow just the same as you are right now, just with a smaller net worth. That's all. It's not a big deal. I've been poor before too. I've been absolutely dead fucking broke, but there's always another day, my friends. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the Krown Chain application over here, which we found at app.krownchain.net. And what do we see? We see all sorts of things, but do we want to get into that first or do we want to get into that second? No, let's get into that first and get it out of the way. Then we'll get into the fun stuff. Mr. Zlandia, I haven't forgot about you, motherfucker. Anyways, what do we see over here? Bitcoin dominance at 41%. We are starting to see it base out around that macro region. It's incredibly fucking close right there. You might even say that it's already there, and that is going to be indicative of perhaps something new going on. In fact, if we go to the open interest over here, we have quite literally a change behavior. We have not seen an open interest read below 9 billion with a B for months now. I mean, it's got to be like 3-4 months now, actually, maybe a little more than that. Fear and greed index, technically speaking, at the lowest it's been in, I mean, it's got to be maybe since honestly coronavirus times last year. It's been maybe almost a year by now. On top of that, as far as top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins go, we still see the shit coins carrying on with the rally. Dogecoin up 16.5%. Hedera Hashgraph, whatever the fuck that is, up 36.5%. Powerful. Bitcoin Diamond 21.22. Near Protocol. Cardano, hey, Cardano's in the winners list. Clayton, Stellar, Theta Fuel, Bakery Tokens, and Nano is all in the winners list today, and actually having some pretty nice gains over there. Top 10 losers, however, Ravane, Aave, Unis, Cells, what the fuck is that? Kusama. Kusama actually had a very good day yesterday, I remember, so they can give up a few of those gains. That's all right. Sushi Swap, Horizon, Elrond, Avalanche, Zcash again? Zuko Cash is getting shit on again? But I was told that shit was going to keep on rallying yesterday. Oh, well, that's fine. We can check in on that one as well. Anyways, into the market data tab we go, and let's see what we got. All right, so this is what's becoming a little bit more concerning. Yes, you can see very obviously over here with the open interest chart that it is making new lows that we haven't really seen taken out for a long time. We've been seeing essentially an uptrend in the open interest as long as Bitcoin has been essentially carrying out its uptrend above about $12,000 going back to October of the past year, actually. So this has been going on for quite some time. So we actually do have a bit of a change in behavior here. Now, obviously that needs to be accompanied by price action falling through as well. However, this is starting to become a big deal as we do see more and more people let go of their positions, which is a signal of a change in behavior. Anyways, with that in mind, we do see that Bitcoin is once again coming back down to its lows. So not only do we have a lower high in place, we also have we also already had a lower low from before, but coming back down to that prior low obviously means that we are not going to be having a higher low today. At the very best, we can have the same low, and at the very worst, we can have a new low. And if we do have a new low, then it is trending time to the downside. Target's going to be down to about 40,000 or 41,000 bucks. I mean, we'll be talking about that obviously, but I do think that's rather concerning. Do I think that happens today, like right now? Probably not. No, I think that this weekend's going to be a little bit of a bounce trap, and then if Bitcoin wants to play at the red dildo party early next week is ripe for the fucking taking. Anyways, as far as the funding rates go, this is a little bit more on the concerning side as well, although it's not necessarily too concerning. But we don't see any exchanges posting negative rates right now, with Bitcoin at its lows for like the last 3-4 months here, or I'd say about the last 3 months. Actually, let's go see what we have over here. So going all the way back to March specifically. You could even make the argument for like February as well. So February, March, April, May, 3-4 months actually. We are retesting around those prior lows, and we're not really seeing anything that's too much indicative of counter-trend behavior right here on the short-term timeframes. Not fucking good. Anyways, okay, Mr. Zlandia, where the fuck are you, sir? Where the hell are you? We have Vitalik Buterin, Mr. Buterol, rug pulling the doggy coins out there, as said by this Australian news disseminator, I suppose. And what do we see over here? Yeah, so this is a story. Ethereum founder Mr. Buteral has struck back at the doggy tokens that have capitalized on his name and clogged his network. I actually didn't know that they capitalized on his name, but fair enough. And we're dealing them a devastating $80 million rug pull. Nasty, man, which sent the meme coins plunging, obviously. Shibu, Akita, Dog One. Man, I don't think they need a rug pull for this. Like, isn't it in the name? Do people... It's like, fuck, man, if you're going to come up with a goddamn scam token, name it something that sounds legitimate, you know? Like something that has a good clickbait name, like Ethereum, perhaps. Just kidding. Ethereum's legitimate, but you get my point. Anyways, just absolutely shitting all over the market. You gotta love it, man. You gotta fucking love it. Yes, we have a rug pull here. Hey, that's crazy. A little bit of a top signal as well with all this nonsense going on. This is why you really want to see a maturing market where we wash out this sort of garbage and to make and pave the way for the more legitimate coins, of which there certainly will be major winners within this market. And it's probably going to be more than Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, there's certainly some other legitimate ones as well. I'm not the person to ask about that. I don't, spend my time looking at that. I'm a fucking trader. I'm a simple person, very small brain. Anyways, going over here as well, it should be denoted, and actually we're turning into a fucking news channel right now, which is ridiculous, but it should be denoted that Binance is actually being under investigation by not the SEC, not the CFTC, but the Department of Justice, which is really bizarre. The IRS and the Department of Justice are digging into Binance. Actually, I didn't know that it was the IRS, but Bloomberg, obviously going to be a pretty legitimate source of news there, especially when it comes to markets, as they do kind of put their name on that, is kind of a big deal, actually. But Krown, isn't that just a bunch of FUD? The United States government trying to FUD Bitcoin holders again? Actually, this sounds like a pretty legitimate concern. Like, do you think they just waste their time with that bullshit? Probably not. I mean, of course, at the end of the day, do I still remain long-term bullish on Bitcoin? Yes, I do. But can Bitcoin play out, more prolonged sideways and down market from this region, similar to what we saw into 2013, which inevitably did blow up into 2014? Yes, I think that that's very likely what's happening here. I've been saying that for a couple months now, and I'd still kind of stick with that, actually, until proven otherwise. As long as Bitcoin's below $58,000, there is no threat at all of Bitcoin trending again to the upside. Again, long term, do I think that Bitcoin's done? Absolutely not. I think that Bitcoin gets to 6 digits and beyond, maybe even still this year. It's possible, I suppose. But over time, very, very likely. And with that in mind, I do think that, these sorts of things right here, this is not fucking FUD. This is real. This is tangible, and this actually means something technically speaking, actually not exactly right now, just because it is an investigation. They're not being accused of any wrongdoing just yet, but if accusations come, then that's when, you can expect some more nonsense in this market. So let's sidestep all that nonsense and let's get into the actual charts themselves, the one egalitarian feature of this market right here. And what do we see? We see Bitcoin closing on the lows. Now, I'm sure that if some people are going to say out there, but Krown, that's a hammer dildo, or Krown, that's a doji dildo on the bottom. Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. However, look at this. Volume is very much conclusive that this is not a big pivot as it stands right now. I do not like this at fucking all. Do I think that Bitcoin bounces here? Yes, I do. We spoke about this rather well yesterday, I do believe. We said Bitcoin was likely to retest around the lows of yesterday. We got that. Hey, what the fuck just fell over there? I don't know. Hopefully my microphone's still working, so that's good. All right, I think we're good to go. And then on top of that, God damn, what is going on over here? Holy shit, there is all kind of scammers in the comments right now. What's up, Nimbo? What's up, Caretaker? We got a lovely moderators keeping everyone nice and safu right now. But looking at this right here, I basically have the same thing to say as yesterday. I think that Bitcoin maybe fishes a few wicks below where we're currently at. I think, is this my generated chart? No, I do no, it is not. Let's go back on over here. I think it was on this chart we were operating off of yesterday. Same shit basically though. Yep, a few more wick fishing into the blue box territory right here, and then very likely another bounce does try from this region. But overall, as long as this bounce fails to get above especially like $55,000, there's nothing really looking all that great about this right now. And with that said, we'll go back to this chart over here. And I want to show you something I think that's a little bit more compelling for what it's worth right now. We got the CME chart, and that is actually getting its first closure below the bottom side trend band for the first time in a while on volume. And I think that the CME chart is just an easier and more accurate chart to be reading, especially when you are looking at dildo formations and whatnot, which I'm not a huge fan of to begin with in cryptocurrency. But if I am going to be looking at them, it needs to be on CME. And guess what? We have nothing resembling what we see on spot price action right now. In fact, this is quite literally closing pretty much on its lows and looking like it actually wants to continue to trend on its its lows, more importantly coming into next week. Now, of course, CME does not trade over the weekend. So over the weekend, do I think that Bitcoin can bounce back up above 50,000 bucks? Yeah, very easily, actually. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin test around 52, maybe even 53,000 bucks over the weekend. However, coming into next week, this is pressure down. We are getting several signals now that are very concerning, especially when you're on the bottom side of your range, whilst also seeing a change of behavior on the open interest. First and foremost, well, I wouldn't say foremost, but first that we'll cover right here is MACD histogram is increasing on the downside, crossing below the zero read for the first time realistically since September 2020. And again, I actually do think that Bitcoin's doing probably something similar to this right here, where we're going to drop down and maybe reaccumulate at the low 40,000s, upper 30,000s, somewhere around there. But ultimately, we have momentum turning down alongside basically a retest of the bottom side of the structure. That's not a fucking good signal. On top of that, SMI is obviously going to be turning down as well. And on top of that, we do see that the DMI ADX is actually giving off a clear and obvious DMI minus signal right here with the ADX strengthening as well. And that is not going to be the picture of health and fitness right here. And then on top of that, as far as the hash ribbons go, we have still not seen at all a buy signal on this, in fact. Now, one of the guys in the Discord, Mr. Josh, actually called this one out to me. And he presented a different hash ribbons indicator, which technically already does have the buy signal, which is rather interesting. But I'm inclined to sidestep that one first and foremost because this one's actually made by Charles Caprioli himself, who is kind of the originator of this concept, I believe. And on top of that, it's just been consistent, and we backtested it many times on this channel. And until we get that buy signal, I don't think that there's even a threat of putting in like a major low on Bitcoin and playing some sort of a more long-term reversal from this region. So with all of that in mind, I am starting to switch on to more medium-term bearish here as more high-term time frame bearish as Bitcoin does once again test around the bottom side of this current range. Now, with that said, any sort of a daily closure here on CME below the bottom side Toronto band, which is currently trading 49.40 by end of day today. And yes, I will be looking for next week to trade down to the low $40,000 region. That's also going to have major implications with the weekly here as well, of which we do see the weekly is currently based off the 20 simple, but this would be the second time that you actually have tested it. And the first time, is an obvious bounce. The second time, not as much. Sometimes, usually kind of like the common knowledge is that the third time is, it starts to get a lot more likely to break. But in this case right here, it is pressure down, especially with weekly MACD crossing the downside. And again, being in an area that we've never even seen like ever. And on top of that, the DMI plus signal on the weekly here has been completely reverted. Now, of course, this does not mean that the DMI minus is going to get dominant here. So I still don't think that Bitcoin's going into a macro downtrend, but I do think that Bitcoin has some downside from very likely from this region. Anyways, so if we go over here, and I actually want to talk about characters STC as well a little bit, as we do see lower term timeframes actually showing more momentum down. We see 4-hour Stokes crossing down here. We see that it is being denoted as a strong falling trend, and this is actually on admittedly very high BBWP. So I would be looking for just small medium moves within this region. Maybe another retest of the lows at 46.5 or 47,000 bucks, and then very likely a bounce from this region. I don't think that Bitcoin's ready to break down today to be 100% direct. But again, my opinion on that doesn't really matter. I think Bitcoin's more likely to bounce over the weekend, regardless of what kind of happens here. Looking at the 12-hour, same sort of thing, still down and still on expanding volatility. I do not like that, especially in a bear zone consolidation right here, showing another $45,000 support target out there. That's not a target. That's not the right way to be addressing that, but it would suggest that Bitcoin bounces around there again if it does indeed test around there. And of course, going to the daily as well, same sort of thing here too, except this one showing the greater range and still showing that Bitcoin very likely does at the very least try a phenomenal bounce somewhere around the low $40,000 region. But for right now, if you are looking at the short and medium term timeframes, it is pressure down. Of course, it is pressure down. So let's go over here to our main charts and let's see. Let's put on our drawing tools that we had from yesterday, and I'll still be operating off this blue box territory right here. I'll still be looking at 48,000 bucks as a bit of a as a bit of a continuation zone. God damn it, Jimmy. What's up, Jimmy Brand? Can you talk about coin? Blah, blah, blah on the daily. My fucking man. You understand me, my friend, and I appreciate that. Let me just take a sip of this this good old Santa Claus coffee, and we'll be back at the charts in just a second here, my friend. All right, there we go. Alrighty, sweet. All right. Anyways, looking at this right here, Bobby Digital says the only coin he pronounces right is Bitcoin. That's right, man. No, Bitcoins? What are you talking about, Bitcoins? Pronunciating shit. That's right. You need to be able to spell and pronounce things in order to in order to speak. Anyways, looking at this right here, yes, $48,000 is still that sort of pivot for me for another continuation, short term to the downside. Again, I don't think that Bitcoin actually does that today. I think that Bitcoin could very likely test around that region today, but I'd be looking for this area to bounce, as much as $53,000 over the weekend. But anything below, of course, 58 is obviously another lower high, and another lower high would be quite devastating. So that would be your third lower high, or sorry, actually it'd be your second lower high, to be fair. Whilst also having, obviously already having a lower low in place as well. So this is really starting to shape up as a little bit more diabolical here, in my opinion. And if we throw in our momentum oscillators here too, again, I don't think that the 4 hour has a whole hell of a lot of downside from here. So that is also why I'm not saying that this is, I don't think that this one's ready to break down just yet. Looking at 4 hour RSI, we do see we had a little bit of bullish evidence coming off the low right there. Could you argue that that's already played out? I mean, that was rather nice move actually, all the way from, Jesus Christ, man, 47 all the way to 50, above 50. So that's a $3,000 plus move. That's very generous. So Bitcoin, 4 hour TSIs, way the fuck in the aggressive zone there as well. And BBWP is fully expanded here. So I'm more inclined to say that Bitcoin's found a short-term local low here. Again, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, I'd probably be looking for a bounce up from this region. And then the real question comes, where does Bitcoin open up coming into Monday around US market open? Anyways, moving on to the 12 hour and daily, I just want to see if there's anything of difference over here. And not as much, no. 12 hour RSI getting the bearish control zone, failing this past trend line actually over here. That was holding up the past few prior lows, which I do not like at all. Again, another small signal of a change of behavior. And we do have yet again another competing trend line actually on the other side, which I do think deserves a little bit of call out right here, just because if Bitcoin does start to break this once again to the upside, that would be your early warning signal, I'd imagine, for a more long-term move to the upside. But in this case, obviously, we're very, 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 very far away from that. And with daily TSI freshly turning down right around the zero buy zone, again, I'm just getting more and more signals that Bitcoin very likely does break a little bit further down here, probably over the next week, as we do fail yet again against this trend line, going all the way back to January highs, in fact. And I think this is a little bit more nasty on CME chart. In fact, look at it on CME right here. I mean, this is just as cut and fucking dry as it gets. A clean rejection of the zero read, staying in the bearish buy zone and opening up once again. I mean, that's not fucking good, man. So again, while I do think that Bitcoin probably plays out a short-term bounce from this region, as long as we're below 50, even 53, 54, it's not looking great, man. What's up, Scott Carney? Again, man, if I could just please ask you if it's cool with you, could we please just wait for some shitcoin requests? And we'll get to that a little bit later. But I do want to get through Bitcoin, a little bit of Dogecoin maybe as well, and perhaps even Buterol, although I'm sure someone will ask, so maybe we can just wait until then. But yeah, looking at this right here, there is something on the other side, though, that I should call out. So also another reason why I do think that Bitcoin very likely bounces from this region is because Bitcoin is testing the green 55 exponential moving average on the 3-day for the first time, basically since September of the past year. And as you can see, the 55, which again is just the green moving average right here, let me actually take off this and we can just look at it right now from throughout the totality of history. We can see that, the 55 is pretty much held up in a similar way to the yellow 21 on the weekly for the macro moves. And all of these have essentially been extremely good buys in the context of a bull market. Now, of course, we've gotten several wicks below. I mean, you can see over here, this one's a extremely nasty wick below, in fact, but no closures below really. And, to put in perspective, that is about a 17.69% move to the downside from that wick to next low. We do see this one over here, another very nasty one, about 20.5%. So this is, it certainly can trade below there, yes. But overall, does Bitcoin play to bounce from this region first and foremost? Yes, I do think so. I do think that Bitcoin tries another bounce from here, and then very likely sometime around next week, if Bitcoin wants to try a move to the downside, that's where I do think it would start to happen. I'm sure someone's going to call this head and shoulders at the at the highs right here too. Could you make that argument? You kind of could, you kind of couldn't. If you put it on a weekly, I think it's a little more obvious here, or sorry, could work out a little bit better. But my point is that the resolution for this would be the same. Below this last local low here on the weekly, $45,000, a daily close even below there is going to be good enough for me as well. And then yes, I'd be looking for a move down at the very least below 40,000 bucks, and perhaps even, I mean, your measure move is going to be all the way down to about 34,000 bucks to be fair. So I'll just save you the pain of looking at that right now. We'll just throw this back on and give Bitcoin a chance to bounce first, and then come back and maybe tear it apart. Now, of course, there always needs to be a criterion on the other side for what would make me bullish, what would make me look for Bitcoin to trend once again. Well, it's very, very simple here. It's the exact same thing that we said over the past few days after putting the high at about 58, it's more like 59,000 bucks to be fair. As long as Bitcoin's below there, I am not looking in any way, shape, or form for a continuation of this rally, like immediately in a trending fashion. I'd just be looking for at best Bitcoin sideways, and at worst Bitcoin down, Bitcoin down and sideways for the extra worse. Again, I do think that Bitcoin is doing something very, very similar to what we saw in 2013. Way the fuck back on over here. Goes parabolic, absolutely blows up its fucking top, and we've seen that. I mean, Bitcoin went to 20,000 to 60,000 pretty much unabated. And then played out about a year of sideways and down. That's what I really like to ideally see on Bitcoin, and that is ideally what I actually, it's ideally what I want to happen. I don't know. Do I really want that to happen? Well, here's the thing. It's not about what I want or don't want. What's more important though is that the longer that you can put in a base and build this sort of a structure over time, the more and more that this asset very likely does rally up in the future. More importantly, for the bulas out there, for the blind bulas out there, and for the people who actually happen to give a fuck about long-term, action within this, the longer that you build a base, the more and more unlikely it is that you're going to come back down and actually, shatter that over time. So as it stands right now, Bitcoin, again, is under a lot of pressure here. So I do look at this as likely to bounce, from its current area, maybe another wick fish down to about 48,000 bucks. But as long as we don't close a 4-hour delta below there, looking for a bounce very likely over the weekend, somewhere around maybe 52, maybe 53,000 bucks. I think that's certainly not out of the question. And then pressure on coming into next week, assuming that nothing else really changes here, which it always fucking does. So there's no point in even talking about that. But you can go check out Dogecoin here too. I think that it's always fun to look at. And Dogecoin playing out its bounce as we identified yesterday. I still do look at this as likely to put in a bit of a bull trap here. If you're looking at this as your major high, now we're looking for the bull trap. And so we got the closure that we wanted yesterday, and I'm still be looking somewhere in the upper 50-cent region. Oh, I guess I didn't do it on this chart. Maybe I did it over here. Let's just double check over here. Let's see if it's already in there. No, it's not. What the fuck? Did I do this on a completely different chart? Oh, well, whatever. It's all the same thing anyways, and we can just do this really, really quickly here. So I'm going to take a bearish retracement on this. From wick to wick, we can see the 618s right around about 58 and 3/4 there. That's going to be your traditional sort of bull trappy area. If you're looking at, well, actually, let me mark this off, and then we'll mark off the closures as well. And then we can come up with a nice little liquid zone here. Okay, let's do that like that. All right, nice one. And then we'll do it like this, get the closing price as well. Actually, pretty much the same price as well, which is rather interesting there, huh? Very, very interesting. And I'd be having an area of interest between there and the 786 in this case. And that is typically where you do find these sort of very nasty bull traps. So I do think that Dogecoin actually has some upside here, kind of alongside Bitcoin in the short-term time frames as well. Especially over the weekend. I think that, we're going to see a lot of rallies kind of across the board, but weekend rallies after weekday dumps is usually not a good signal. I really don't like counter trend moves over the weekend, as they typically are essentially fake out moves. And in this case right here, after a week of down and then bouncing up on the weekend, presumably, that is going to really play into what I think is probably going to end up being, a more prolonged down, if that happens. Anyways, we do have hidden bullish evidence. I'd say that this is, pretty much already confirmed, and, your natural target's going to be the 10 simple. We're very, very close to that already, just under 55 cents. And like I said, I do think that this one will try a little bit higher. Now, that also means on the other side, I would not be bearish on this. I would actually not be bearish on Dogecoin any longer if it does take out 63.5 cents, meaning that if you see any sort of a higher term time frame closure above there, 12-hour daily, even a 4-hour perhaps, let's see what a 4-hour looks like. Yeah, you can make the argument for a 4-hour, maybe move it up to like 66 cents to be a little more safer. Then I'd actually be looking for new highs on this. But again, until that condition is met, I do play this one as very, 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 very sketch, if you will. Well, to be fair though, I don't trade this one anyways. Promise me Musk can't save Doggy. Musk can't do anything. I really dislike this sort of thing that's going on in the market right now. You're seeing all these people, and let me just finish off this copy before I get into this fucking rant here. Dog is everything that is wrong with the current market, says BMG coin. I mean, whether it's wrong or not, man. I mean, Dogecoin's probably here to stay anyways. It's just And probably stays down below 10 cents over time. Anyways, just for the hair, what's up, Bullish Noel? Appreciate that, brother. Let me just finish this off and we'll get into a little bit of a rant here for a second. All right, cool. Oh, why is Nimbo deleting everyone's message? All right, so Coinbase is adding dog. It doesn't matter, man. That's more or less of a top signal. Yes, it'll rally up in the short term into that, and then what do you have? You have another exchange to go sell your fucking Dogecoins on, which are not going to be used for fucking anything to begin with, except for maybe going to Mars, which is a well, in my opinion, is probably a fool's errand. Seen as, I don't know, can you spend your fucking Dogecoins with Martians? Probably not. At least I would assume not. They only accept gold, of course. Anyways, okay. So where was I? What sort of a rant was I just about to get into? I don't know. Some doggy related, I believe. Or no, it was Elon Musk related. All right, Nimbo, stop deleting people's messages, man. What are you doing? Anyways, all right. So here's the thing. People are going off of Elon Musk, both love and hate. Now, look, this is, in my opinion, a complete scapegoat. I don't think that what Elon Musk matters, or what Elon Musk says or does matters at all, except for like hard and dry facts. Like, I bought X amount of XYZ, which he actually has. Well, maybe not he, but Tesla has bought, more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. That is a tangible thing. That, is very telling in and of itself. But what people get confused by is the hype and non-hype segments of this market. And I see a lot of people getting extremely frustrated with Elon Musk, or mad, or even wishing him really ill harm for, well, essentially just expressing his very silly sometimes opinion on crypto Twitter, which, he is admittedly a troll of himself, right? He's been known to fuck around quite a fair bit on social media, and you should fucking expect that. So my point is with Elon Musk is that you don't want to ride or die on one person, and realistically, it's not even one person that's doing it anyways. The only thing that moves the market, the only thing that ever fucking moves the market ever is not a goddamn tweet. It's not a fucking news article. It's not anyone's opinion. It is only this one thing ever. And if anyone says anything fucking differently than this, they are completely fucking wrong. They have no basis in reality, and they do not know what the hell they are talking about. And they're trying to sell you some sort of hopium or dopium sort of story. And that is this. The only thing that ever fucking moves market ever, and I'm sure a lot of people here know this, the only thing that moves the markets ever is an imbalance of buys and sells. That is the only way that you can actually move the fucking market. Anything else is irrelevant. It is a distraction. It is neither here nor there, unless if you are an insider within the company and you actually know the information, you know the fundamentals, you know something that the public does not. You have an imbalance of information, then no, that does not fucking matter. And even then, the only thing that matters is actually if you take action on that, and the only way that you take action on that is by buying or fucking selling. And where is that shown in? The charts, of course. So at the end of the day, I think that a lot of this hate or love is misguided. It doesn't matter. It's just the hype, and it's just the hype cycles that continually go on in this market, which is a big portion of this market, to be fair. But at the end of the day, man, I think that this is completely misplaced, and it does not, it's just a wrong thing to be thinking. You don't ride or die with one person. You don't want to. That is kind of the whole synopsis of this, decentralized cryptocurrency narrative, in the sense that you don't have a central authority. You don't have a central figure. It runs on its own, and it is kind of immune to that sort of nonsense, which I think is actually a rather healthy thing. I mean, that's actually one of the big things. What's one of the really, really cool things about cryptocurrency. All right, Mr. Scott Carney, we'll go back to you, man, but for the love of fucking God, I'd really, really appreciate it in the future. Ah, shit, he deleted his message. All right, he deleted his message. God damn it, Scott. Damn it, Scott! Motherfucker! Scott, I have a strong feeling that Scott's just trolling me at this point. What is going on, man? What is going on? All right, let's see. I'm gonna just pull up the messages that I can right now, because unfortunately it looks like some people have retracted their messages, so I can't actually pull them up right now. So we'll do our best over here. Alrighty, sweet. Let's see, where is the latest one that actually has something there? Okay, there we go. There it is. Super Googly Lee says, thanks, Krown, for your Cardano Ethereum analysis yesterday. Already up a few Ethereums. Nice, man. Hey, well done. A few Ethereums. That's like a, I don't know, what more than $10,000? Hey, nicely done, man. Could you have a look at SNX BTC? Sure, man. Sure. Let's see, SNX BTC over here. And let's see what we got on Binance. Wow, powerful, very, very powerful move right there. Very fucking powerful move, in fact. I really want to check out the Bitcoin dominance here, the Bitcoin dominance chart that is here. It's hard to hate this chart, man. It's hard to hate this chart. We do have a weekly higher low. And while short term, yeah, it probably does trade back down towards 3,900-ish region. I would be looking for another try to the upside overall. Here's sort of your next major line in the sand. And it's right at about 4630-ish region. Above there, I'd be looking for a retest of the highs. And I'd probably be looking for a continuation of this run. As you know, we essentially have higher lows and we got the same highs. So this would kind of mark itself off as reaccumulation. Now I do want to check out this. I want to check out Bitcoin dominance over here. The reason why is because I know that we're very, very close to a macro area on this. Oh, actually, no, we still got a little bit more to go here. I'd still say between about 39.5 to 40.5. We're currently trading about 41.75. And that actually is kind of a big differential. Even just 1% of this amounts for like major changes. It's not the best way to be doing things, but in conjunction with what we see on the charts as well, you know, they should kind of line up with each other. So this would line up with another continuation drive. So overall, depending upon what time frame that you're looking at, which oh no, you did denote you're looking at daily weeks. So you're more long term. You know, I'd be looking for maybe a short term pullback, but ultimately I would actually be looking for a retest of those highs in line with this as well. So I do like that actually. And congratulations on your Cardano Ethereum trade. That's awesome, man. Fuck yeah. Michael Crook says, hey Krown, could you check out KPay on the 4 hour for the ranges? Okay. KPay, what is this? Is this a crypto? Is this oh no, it's not a normal stock. It's an OTC bullshit. I really don't trust things like this, man. Look, you just turn on the fucking volumizer out of nowhere over here. It's not a good sign, man, long term. But short term, does it continue on with a rally? Very likely yes, to about 2.32 cent region. Just mark this area off right here, right around the 55 on the weekly. Daily is... Yeah, daily looks like it wants to push through here. I actually really like this. This volume on this move is a change of behavior, obviously, but I'm very, very skeptical of shit that trades OTC and looks like this. So overall, you know, here would be, if you're asking for, your question is quite literally just asking for my ranges. Oh, you're asking for ranges on a 4 hour. What the fuck, man? You're trading OTC bullshit on a fucking 4 hour. Fair enough, man. It's your money, but I mean, to be fair, man, I do think that this one will test up here. I do think that it will test somewhere around like 2.5 cent probably, or maybe just a little bit below there. Here would be your downside support. Here would be your short-term upside resistance. Personally speaking, I do think that it will break this to the upside and go on for like another, maybe a little bit less than a cent rally. Looks okay for the short term. Long term, not a big fan of it though, certainly. But hey, maybe you have some insider information on this one, and this can unfuck itself over the last 10 years of just straight down. Like not just straight down, it's like catastrophic down, in fact. So very, very bad, man. Very fucking bad. Welcome to our new cave driller fam. All right. Fuck yeah. I can't see your name though. Apparently the message has been retracted as well. I think I got one more sippy sip of this coffee left, and then it is time to only spitball, my friends. I'm getting close, man. I got one more. Santa Claus is about to be very, very happy here. All right, that's it. That's it, my friends. Mr. Abbott Dynamic, how you doing, brother? Hey, Krown, great to see you, man. Great to see you too, man. It's been a few days here. Hope you're doing well. Ran on, brother. Someone's got to teach these puppies. Well, at the end of the day, man, it's more or less like, if you've been in this market for a while, which I know that you have, and I know that many other people here have been in this market for a long time now, like you've seen this before. You've seen this many, many times, and well, you also know what sort of pain it can result in. So if you can shed some some experience with that to just share what has happened in the past, well, I think that that's probably for the best, as this is all too of a common story, if you will. Anyways, moving on, and I just moved on a little bit too much. Hold on, let me just go find it back up. There we go. Found it. Yes. Okay. Sweet. All right, there he is, Scott Carney once again. ALYI. You bastard, man. You fucking savage. All right, alternate. Oh, another OTC bullshit and another shitty chart, baby. Another shitty chart, but does it bounce here? Yes, it does. It very likely does bounce here. Short term, does it test another downside move? Maybe around like 3.5 cent, perhaps yes. But here's the problem with this one, man. You do see that we've retested this region once, twice, 3 times. This would be your 4th time. Typically speaking, support and resistance does weaken with the more and more tests that you do have. And you do have declining highs coming in from your last Feb highs over here, which is not fucking good. You might even call this a sunny triangle. It would look like distribution. And I would play this one bearish as long as it's especially below this last lower high right here. I really, really don't like this at 6.9 cent. You did not give a time frame on this. God damn it, Scott. You know better. You fucking know better. Anyway, just give me shit, man. I mean, do we have a change of behavior over here? You could say that. Here's the thing, though. The second that you break this area right here on a higher time frame, I'd preferably like to see a weekly, but even a daily would probably do it for me too. And again, if I'm using a daily, I'd be a little more lenient with this, and I'd say it's more like around 3.5 cent. 3.55 to be exact. If I'm using a weekly, it'd be basically on the 55 right there. Then I'd be looking for a big meltdown on this meltdown on this one down to low 2 cent. Until that happens, I'd give it another chance to bounce. Personally speaking, I do think it will bounce here again. I think it probably tries for another lower high somewhere around 6 cent or so, and then hold your fucking breath, because as long as this thing's below 7 cent, I'd play this one bearish. Let's see. Ampanon says, audio on the 4 hour, please, sir. Okay. Not familiar with this one. Is this it's just talk? Okay, I guess it's a crypto. We have audios on the blockchain. All right, that's great. this is new and exciting. Okay, cool. So we got 4 hour right here. Looks very similar to Bitcoin on the daily. Just trying another low right around your past prior low. Not a big fan of that structure, but short term, does it try a rally here? I mean, you did specifically ask about the 4 hour, so I'll give you just the 4 hour here. Just the tip, sir. 4 hour, I'd be looking for another retest somewhere around your current lows, maybe like 178 region. But I don't think that this one's ready to break down just yet. I do think that it will carry out a bigger bounce from that region. Perhaps if we put it on this chart over here, it'll make a little bit more sense. I want to see where my RSI is on this one. I want to see if we show any sort of divergences that could be relevant. I mean, the weekly still looks okay on this one, to be fair too. Looking at the 4 hour right here, yeah, I do think that it'll probably retest somewhere around the current lows on a closing basis, but I don't think that it's ready to break down just yet. I do think that it will try to put in a few more wicks around this region, similar to Bitcoin, and then carry a bounce probably over the weekend if I had to guess. We see 4 hour TSI turning up. We see 4 hour RSI rejecting the bearish controls and also crossing back above the exponential. You know, I don't think that this one's ready to break down just yet, if it is at all. In fact, looking at the 12 hour, I mean, still has higher lows over here. Kind of hard to hate this one on its own, but if Bitcoin breaks down, is this thing, you know, gonna hold up on its own? I'd say that that's certainly not been my experience in this market. Whenever Bitcoin breaks down, most things will follow it, especially versus US dollar, that is. So in this case right here, you know, that'd be my kind of criteria for that. But if you're just asking about the 4 hour, yeah, I do think it probably bounces back up anywhere around just north of $2 is fair game on this one. But again, you know, similar to Bitcoin, below 58,000 bucks or 59,000 bucks, I believe it was. This one about 271. You know, as long as you're below there, this one is just another lower high, to be fair. So there you go. But I mean, technically speaking, yeah, you still got rising lows here. So it actually, for what it's worth, it actually would technically structurally be better than Bitcoin as of the current moment. But I don't trust anything if Bitcoin starts to falter. Very, very few will actually not follow in general. What's up, Elaine? Elaine R says, when do you think Litecoin will hit at least 500 bucks? When this sounds like a I need rent money question. When I think it'll happen, I don't think it happens like this month, if that's what you're asking. I think that probably happens a little bit later, probably in summer, if anything. I still like the weekly here, to be fair. I don't really see a reason to be bearish on Litecoin as long as it's above about 300 bucks on a weekly closing basis. But you know, if Bitcoin comes down, I'd be looking for this one to test back down, maybe somewhere around the 10 simple here at about 250, and probably play a nice bounce from there. You know, I'm trying to. Maybe I should just go to the monthly here, because long term, I still do like this chart. This chart is not bad, at least for what it's worth right now. I mean, we already got up to 413, so if you're talking about 500 bucks, it's pretty fucking close. But no, I don't think this one's done long term. I want to see more topping signals before I get like actually bearish on this one, and I don't see it just yet. You know, looking at the daily right here, we don't even have bearish divergence. I'm sure someone's going to say, but Krown, what about back to February? That's too fucking far with the 14 period. Jesus Christ. And BBWP is actually declining right now too. So I'm more inclined to look at this one as short term to pop back up here. You're not really asking about that though. You're asking about a $500 target. I would think like later in September if it's going to happen. You know, it's going to take its time, especially if Bitcoin comes down here. If Bitcoin plays out a move down to, you know, 45,000 bucks or even 40,000 bucks, you're probably going to see Litecoin at the very best trade sideways for a bit and put in some time. But you know, long term, I still always am going to respect a formation like this when you have a clean break above your prior all-time highs on a week closing basis and just coming back down to retest it right now. I think that's actually more or less an opportunity, and you know, you're probably going to see some sideways here and then try for some upside over the next few months, but very, 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 very unlikely like this month or today, if that's what you're asking. If you're looking for rent money, I'm not so sure, Elaine. You might need to judging by your avatar, you're a very attractive young female, so you'll have no problem making money, but you might have a problem with the way this Sorry, I couldn't help myself, Elaine. I couldn't help myself. Very bad, very, very poor taste right there. I apologize. But yeah, long term, I'm not so concerned about this just yet. Maybe if you get a bearish cross on the weekly TSI, could be. All right, Luke T says, Bcash daily, please. Where's this low coming? All right, he wants the Bcash, sir. All right, if he wants the Bcash, he gets the fucking Bcash treatment. How about that? Where's this low coming? So again, when I look across the altcoin market, I'm not necessarily like bearish on this right here. This is a higher low by fucking definition. Although actually, no, it's not confirmed just yet. But if we come back up and pop back above the yesterday's high, 1345, is that it? Is that it? Hold on. Am I reading that properly? Yes, I am 1345.5 actually. Then yes, you're looking from this as a higher low, and you also have potentially hidden bearish or hidden bullish evidence. Yes, indeed you will, and that would initiate targets back up to the prior high of this run, 1500, and probably make new highs on that. But if Bitcoin breaks down, where would I be looking for on Bcash? Somewhere around 950 actually, right around the 55 right here. And you do see several signs of this one actually showing momentum oscillators having a bit of downside here. We got daily playing out some major bearish evidence. In fact, 1, 2, 3 drives on this one, plus daily TSI also turning down as well. It is in the bullish controls, or it is in the bullish buy zone, so I'm not necessarily like super bearish off something like that. Again, if Bitcoin plays at a pullback, I'd probably be looking for this one to come down somewhere around about 950-ish region. But for now, I do think that Bitcoin bounces first here. So if Bitcoin bounces first, this one's probably going to get another ride back up towards 1450, maybe even 1500. This one actually does look comparably better for at least a short term here. I do like the structure on the weekly especially, and I'd still be having targets up towards 1800 actually. I do like this, in fact. Looking at the monthly as well, the monthly, is going to sell off that prior test, but still long term, I favor the weekly, so I will stick with that for now. But 950 if Bitcoin breaks down. If you see Bitcoin break for $48,000, that's where I'd really start to look for a bigger move down on a lot of these altcoins. And again, I don't think that that's happening right here, right now. I don't think this happens over the weekend. If it's going to happen, very likely happens opening next weekend. All right, silver, the antidote. Hex chart, USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Wait, what the fuck? Sir, just one, sir. It will soon be used for speculating into an entire Ethereum fork called Pulse Chain. All Ethereum and ERC20s will be duplicated and airdropped on it. Other TA guys calling $1 plus, hence run your thoughts. I fucking hate, I hate technical analysis. These other TA guys, it's a bunch of hogwash, man. It's fucking, it's just like astrology, which is also real too. All right, let's see. Hex. I'll look at Hex USD. I mean, if it's going to be, that's probably going to be the most relevant one. This is a very good chart. Look, I'm not making a comment on whether Hex has like great technology or not. As far as the chart goes, this is a fucking phenomenal chart. Do I think that Hex is going to go to $1? No, sir. At least there's nothing from a technical analysis perspective. I would absolutely love to see what someone is getting. Where is someone even getting a buck from this? It's currently trading 6.37 cent. Look, I think it's got some upside here. It's a very good chart for the information that we do have. It's got probably some more significant upside. But to call a dollar gain, which is more than a, I mean, hold on, let's just measure this out right now. I mean, people are calling, based off of what we have right now, they're calling a 1,500% continuation move in this market right now. Look, I'd love to see what they're seeing. But perhaps it's unwise of me to judge before actually knowing what the fuck they're seeing as well. But I do think that there's more upside in this one, no doubt about that. Or I shouldn't say no doubt about that, but I think it's incredibly likely here. Would I be calling a $1 target off that? No, that seems like hopium, man. Look, I totally understand why fucking people hate technical analysis. You should hate technical analysis when people are just saying, it's $1. Because why? Because I said so. I'm an analyst. It's like, what the fuck? Make the trade, man. Because look, I'm not saying that I can't go to $1, but if you're just taking TA off this right here, I don't think that there's anything that gives me a target up there. As far as I can see, you got some areas of interest to see upside, obviously, or I guess I've already kind of done them. I've said in the past 8 cents, 8.5 cents or so is kind of like my next major target. I'd stick with that. I do think that it hits somewhere around there, but 8 cents is not the same as $1. And can it, can it formulate something else around there and then give targets higher? Yes, indeed. But to just blindly call $1 from here, I think is from the information that I see, I think is not just disingenuous. I think it's maybe even deliberately misleading. And I don't fucking see it, man. Look, it's even showing some signs of slowing down right here too. BBWP all the way at a what is this, 97.5 percentile right there. I mean, it's getting very close. I think you're going to see a greater pullback from just around like 8.5 cent, give or take a little bit from there. And fair enough. All right. Probably not what you wanted to hear though. Sorry, man. Apologies, my friend. Apologies. Let's see. Wow, I just missed a whole hell of a lot of chats right there. All right. Mr. Gringenstein, back at it. Good day, Lord Krown. Good day, sire. Is it Moonboy short squeeze? Get the tendies time for AMC stonk. The Wall Street Bets tells me so, sir. Wall Street's Bets is a very interesting thing because they're essentially... I mean, are they telling you that they're going to be able to do the same thing here as they did on GameStop? You're not going to see another thing. You're not going to see another GameStop-S type thing for a very long time in this market. And there's actually a very strong reason for this. Now, this one actually does have a structurally good chart here. I mean, you see an obvious weekly reversal. You see a change of behavior on the volume signature over here. You see higher lows within this constructive behavior above all major moving averages. I'd be looking for a move up to like 18.75, maybe even $20. But to call like a GameStop type of move where, you know, you're going to get like, I don't know, thousands of % to the upside. No, I think that that's very unlikely. You have to understand that the GameStop saga, like that whole thing, they had been planning that for, it had to have been like a year or so in advance. Like they had a lot of data. I've actually gone through a little bit of it. It was actually really, really well done. And it was really done by like just a couple of people there. And they were kind of like stealthy about it. You know, they actually knew what the fuck they were doing, which is not the majority of Reddit people. So I'd say, you know, Wall Street's bet, it's like the same thing as like a fucking Dogecoin army, right? It's like these people are cheerleaders. They bought into an ideology rather than, you know, hard set facts. But looking at this right here, yes, I'd be bullish on this. I actually would be bullish on this. Would I be calling like a fucking 1000% run from this region though? No, I would not. I'd say the same thing about the prior poster with Hex. It's like, yeah, it's got some upside. Yes, you know, deep, very, very good chart here for the information that we have. But to call a move like that is just, I don't think that's I don't think that's wise or even like relevant as well. So yeah, looking at this though, very good chart for what we do have. Hidden bullish divergence off that last weekly low plus weekly TSIs turning up. Yeah, I'd look for continuation here coming in the next couple of weeks. Very good chart, very, very good chart. And same thing on the monthly as well. Pretty nice. Pretty nice across the board, actually. All right, sweet one, man. Mr. CG says, Krown, my guy. What's up, CG? Your channel has been extremely helpful as of late. Thank you, man. I'm glad that it's been of some value. It's not just my raspy lesbian voice invading your ears. Apologies for that. Could you check on COTI BTC on 4-hour daily? Okay, COTI. And this is versus the Bitcoin pairing over here. Binance, KuCoin, all the same shit to me, really. I'm going to go to Binance just because I imagine they probably have more volume because they got the old volumizer bots over there. Then again, KuCoin's like not the most legitimate exchange either. Let's actually see what KuCoin's got here. Do they have more history? They have a little more history. Fair enough. I actually really like the monthly chart now that I kind of zero in on it. But you're looking at 4-hour and daily. All right, we'll go down to the we'll go down to the daily. Very good on the daily here. It looks like it wants to break through. I really like what I'm seeing on the RSI. I really like the expansion in BBWP over here. And more importantly, along all of that, I do see that daily is crossing above the bullish buy zone here too. So I do think that is actually going to take out this prior high and continue with this run. I think it's actually doing that right here, right now, in fact. And the next sort of short-term, or maybe more like medium-term target is going to be right around about 740. At that point, do I think that it just continues on with this rally? Yes, I do. I think that it probably goes for new highs on this run. And I don't really have any targets to give, to be honest with you. But I do like what I see here, at least from a weekly perspective, which you didn't ask for, but I do think that, you know, perhaps you might be interested in this, seeing as I do think that this one actually has some decent upside here, at least back up to the prior highs and above this 740 pivot. I'd be looking for a retest of perhaps, yeah, this would be the next relevant region, right around about 930-ish region. So long term, yeah, actually looking pretty good here. Looking pretty nice for the information that we have. BK says, hey, Krown, can you take a look at FTM USD on the 4-hour and daily on Binance? Do you think it'll make a new all-time high? Let's see. FTM USD. Now, I should say, we are in a very interesting portion of the market right now because we actually are seeing bifurcation. Bitcoin and a lot of altcoins are trading completely different to each other on the daily. Now, we don't have that on the weekly just yet, but it could come as soon as this week, depending upon Bitcoin's weekly closure. If it closed below $48,000, yeah, we will. Anyways, looking at this right here, what do we see? Or what? Or you're asking, you know, is a new all-time high coming? Kind of very similar to a lot of the other altcoin charts that we've seen thus far. It looks like it's going to try for a higher low. If it does confirm a higher low, will we have hidden bullish divergence? Yes, indeed, we will. Or actually, no, we will not. Apologies, we will not. There's no bullish divergence. Is gone. It's gone, man. Let's look at the 4-hour really quick. Short term, I'd be looking for another rally back up towards about 69 cents. You know, you have a very obvious basing area right here, and it's kind of like the same. I wouldn't say easy trade. There's no such thing as an easy trade trade, but like an obvious trade, right? You got the 200 simple right here, basically around yesterday's lows. As long as you're above there, I don't think that this one is going to, have a major like catastrophic pullback or anything like that. And I would actually play this one to the upside. I would play this short term to maybe like 75 to 80 cents region. Long term, do I think that it goes for a new high there? You kind of have to be looking for that because that is a trend right now, and the trend is your friend. But the second that you come back down below yesterday's low, just even come back down below there, I'd say that this one goes for a greater retrace, at the very least to about 46.5 cents and potential for more over time. But for now, I'd give it some respect. I do think that a lot of these charts are still actually looking decent for what it's worth, and still in decent posturings here. Let's maybe check out the 12-hour just really quickly. Yeah, I think the 12-hour still gets a little bit of a bounce up north of 70 cents or so. Okay, cool. Nate, hey, what's up, Nate's Games? There he is. Can you check out XPD Palladium? Okay, XPD USD. XPD USD. Been cashing out my crypto investments to commodities recently. That's actually a really smart thing to do. A funny thing that people get wrong a lot of the times is like they think that big asset managers are like really fucking wealthy people. They go from like asset to fiat all the time. That's actually not true. Typically, like big money managers, or especially like very wealthy people, they go from asset to asset. So you're actually playing a really good game right there. And are you playing a game that's actually working in your favor? Yeah, I would say actually very, very well. In fact, you've actually chosen a really, really good one here, as we do see hidden bullish divergence coming off this low right here. I'd be looking for another move back into 29.50, and the daily uptrend resumes. This one is looking a bit toppy, but do you put in your highs on low volatility typically? No, you don't. And this one's actually incredibly low right there. So I'd actually be looking for another expansive move to the upside. I would be a little bit more cautious on this one, but long term, great chart, great fucking chart, and it does deserve a lot of respect. It only goes up essentially, and you did have a pretty obvious ascending triangle right here. For the last, how far back does this go? For like the last year or so, freshly breaking out right now. So do I think that it continues on with this rally? Very likely, yes. And you have a very obvious basing point as well, just below basically where the 10 symbol is right now, that breakout point at 2740-ish region. As long as it's above there, I remain bullish on this one, and I'd be looking towards targets of 3,300. Is that 3,300? Is that right? 33 to 3,400. Yeah, would look pretty damn good, man. That's actually a really mature decision to be doing, man. And that's actually really cool to see. If anyone's wondering why I'm kind of stroking Nate right now, it's because actually we've been speaking with each other for like, I don't know, 2 years now, man. So it's cool to see like people really take on new things, and this is that actually is what you should be doing. That's a rotation by definition. You're rotating your capital. Well done, man. Well fucking done. All right, sweet. Okay, all right. Abbott Dynamics says, how do copper futures look on the daily rolling over? You'll have to give me the ticker for copper, because I'm actually not familiar with it. I've never traded it myself, but if I just this is MCX. I'm guessing you don't want to look at that. Okay, yeah, here we go. HG. All right, that's got to be at COMEX. Okay, that's an exchange that we can get on with. All right, so you're saying look on the daily rolling over. It does look a little bit rolling over, kind of similar to Bitcoin right now too. Do I think it has a little bit of a downside move here? Yeah. Daily TSI about to cross the downside will inevitably do it with any sort of a closure below 467. Which is not that far away from, to be fair, but with daily RSI dipping back down below the bullish control zone as well, I'm more inclined to look at this one as likely to come back down and retest whatever this horizontal I happen from here, which is right around the 21 as well. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Could this be a top here? Could this be a market top? It is starting to look a little bit more like that, but then again, when I actually pull it out, no, I don't think so. So it depends what time frame you're looking at. If you're looking at the daily, do I think that we have a little bit of downside? It would seem so, yes. However, long term, I do respect a more than decade-long breakout of structure on volume as well. I'm inclined to say that the weekly probably just tests back down to this level, like 4.5, 455 region, and then tries another move to the upside. A lot of the time I actually look at these as opportunities here, which, where you essentially break above like a prior mega resistance and then come back down and retest it. You see that same sort of signature many times in crypto over the past like few months here. So I do think that this is, or at least I would run with that assumption first. See what the monthly looks like. Okay, monthly is a little bit more concerning here, because monthly actually could get rejected. Now, if you do actually close below the top side here, I would be looking for it to essentially fill out this more over time. And at that point, you could start to target like very, 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 very deep retracements, at least 3.25, like, this is going to be over like 4 to fucking 6 months. It's going to take a long time. We're looking at a monthly right now for what it's worth. But for, at least for the short term, I do think that it's, I do have to respect it, at least for what it's worth. Actually, still kind of, yeah, I still kind of do like this one, to be fair. It's got a good structure long term. The question is, does it break out from here? Or does it spend like another year baking in this formation? That's the real question. But I'm inclined to give it the benefit of the doubt, at least for right now, because you're pretty fucking close to that bottom side resolution. That would be your swing failure pattern, anyways. So fair enough. Long term, no, I would not be bearish on it. Like very long term, years out down the road. But the question is here, what does it do at 450, 455 region? Starts to break that back down below there. Well, then you got your swing failure pattern, and I'd be looking for it to kind of fill that area out for another, I don't know, could be another year or two. Stuart says, hey, Zur, Cardano USD on the 4 and daily. Ooh, actually, I'm very excited to see this one today, because I remember this one was looking pretty damn good over the last few days. I think we were looking for another continuation move, and we got another continuation move. Hey, not bad at all. I'd be looking for I still stick with my $2 plus targets. We're very fucking close. Actually, holy shit, we actually pretty much got it yesterday, 197 and a quarter. But is that my overall target? Let's, I think it was maybe more like 215 to 220. Let's see what we got over here. Okay. All right. Very nice. Yeah. 215 to 225 actually is where I'd be looking for ultimately. I don't think that this one's toppy just yet. If Bitcoin plays out of bounds from this region, which I still think that it does, you're going to see most altcoins, especially the ones that have been acting well, continue on with their rallies, and Cardano would certainly be one of that. So in this case, yeah, I'll still stick with 215 to 225, maybe even more over time, but at least for the short and medium term, I'd be looking for upside here still. You also asked about a 4 hour, a little bit of a short-term pullback, but I don't know. I don't know if I really want to be concerned with that right now. 4 hour RSI, 4 hour, and in daily also looking fine to me. I'd still favor long-term continuation here, and we can move up this point of failure now to the last structural high here, which is going to be about 175 region. Okay, sweet. Bullish Noel, where are you, sir? Where's your message, man? I don't see any message from you, but I appreciate that, man. Feel free to have a chat, though. Burnt Krem says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? Thoughts on Link on the daily? Is it going to follow Bitcoin or Ethereum? Thank you. All right, let's see. The thing is that we actually do see bifurcation right now. So for what it's worth, I mean, it doesn't really seem to be... It on one hand, it's not wise to go against a unbroken trend that goes all the way back to 2011, 2010. At the same point, though, how do you not respect this right here? Again, another very easy trade. As far as we identified yesterday, I'd still stick with it. I like it, man. I like what I see here. We even have hidden bullish evidence in progress. As soon as it ticks above yesterday's high, I'd say that is all but confirmed. And I'd be extending these targets back up towards $48. I still think long term this one goes for 60 plus. I mean, this is the exact same thing that we just spoke about on copper, for example, where you break out of your prior resistance. Now, this one obviously not as not as long formulated, so it's not as big of a deal, but you come back down. That first test down is typically going to be at the very least a fucking bounce, and usually going to be a nice opportunity. More often than not, it will continue on that direction. So I actually would favor this one for the current moment, and I'll just be using yesterday's low as like a nice baseline for this one, meaning that as soon as it goes below there, hey, yeah, I'm looking for a bigger pullback, back down to 34, maybe even beyond. But for right now, no, I favor the upside here, man. I still stick with long term, being bullish on this one. Still somewhere around like $60 is kind of where I'd be looking towards, maybe even more over time. I don't hate the weekly. I certainly don't hate the monthly either. Yes, they are getting very mature here. Yes, they are getting very extended, but they can get more extended, and I mean, it's still a fucking upturn right here, man. It's hard to hate. It's very much hard to hate. So we do see bifurcation in the markets, because dailies on a lot of these bullish altcoins are completely fucking different than what we see on Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually has a downtrend on the daily. Most altcoins, or I wouldn't say most altcoins, but a lot of these altcoins that we've seen thus far, the more healthy ones, they actually have uptrends on the daily. Now, this is not true on the weekly just yet. All are still in an uptrend on the weekly, but that actually can be taken out as soon as the end of this weekend. And if that happens, that'll be the first time to my knowledge that we've seen a weekly down. We've seen like Bitcoin in a weekly downtrend, whilst altcoins are on a weekly uptrend. Again, I'd like to see it proven first before jumping on that train. But for right now, it is certainly a possibility, and that would be another sign of actually a maturing market in this case. Mostly because, at the end of the day, you want kind of coins to be on their own merit, and not necessarily be tied to just one ticker essentially, which is what we have seen for the past more than 10 years now, right? Whatever Bitcoin does, essentially altcoins will more or less follow. Yes, there's a few outliers here and there, but now now we're actually seeing like multiple outliers to the point where they're not outliers. It's like there's a good section of the altcoin market that I think is showing their legitimacy. We see Cardano, we see Link, we see Monero kind of as well. We see Ethereum obviously too, you know, and several others that people have been calling out that are, you know, still looking more or less fine. Anyways, Abbott Dynamics is last one. Asian paint on the daily, sir. Is this real? Is this a real thing? Is this just, am I being trolled here? What the fuck is this? Asian paint. Is this real? I'm being trolled, motherfucker, man. Been watching it for a while and didn't expect it to break higher. Wait, maybe I am not getting trolled. Wait, what the fuck? Did I spell Asian wrong? No, maybe I did. Asian paint. It is real. Oh, this is on, is this, what country is this? Oh man, I'm just going to sound like a complete moron, but actually I have no idea what symbol that is. It's not India, is it? No, I don't think it is. And that would be a different exchange anyways. Yeah, looking very, very good here. Very, very good. Okay, continuation on trend here on the daily, obviously. Weeklies, same thing as well. Long-term, phenomenal chart. Oh, baby, this is exactly what you want to see. Exactly what you want to see. Reapproaching its prior high. I think that this one's actually ready to break probably over the next week or two. Weeklies having hidden bullish evidence off this low. Already pretty much around your prior high. Yeah, I think it's ready to trend here. I mean, this is yet again another reaccumulation formation. You got your higher lows right here. You got your highs coming in right around this area right here. I mean, technically speaking, it would be an ascending triangle in this case. We can come up with some targets, some areas of interest to the upside. Of course, short term, it'd be about 30.50 on a break, but I don't think that's where things would stop. At least that'd be very unlikely. I'd realistically be looking somewhere around 3,400 to 3,500 bucks actually. Weekly TSI looks like it can turn up as well. Yes, indeed it can, with any sort of a close above here actually would do it. So yeah, I'd actually be looking for continuation on this one. This one looks very, very good. Daily also very fucking good here. Fresh signal right there. Daily RSI, hidden bullish evidence off, you know, basically around your prior highs. Yeah, very fucking good. I really, really like that chart actually. Really, really like that one. Ian Lynn says, good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Ian. Thank you for doing that. Hey, man, my pleasure. As long as my voice can handle it, I'm down to do it. But man, I did have to invoke a little bit more of the old caffeine today in order to get ready because I've been up since like 3 or 4 a.m. My girlfriend's, I don't know, man. She's like yakking in the bathroom. I think she's got like hay fever or something. All right, can you look at BNB on medium and longer term timeframes? Looking for levels to take profit until this correction blows over. Entry around 450. Ooh, man, you are deeply in the profit, sir. Let's see, BNB USD over here on Binance. Okay, and you are looking at medium and higher term timeframes, looking for levels to take profit. Okay, so BNB is a little more on the side of Bitcoin here, in my opinion, as we do see an actual break below. It's not necessarily breaking structure here just yet, but below, of course, yesterday's low, we certainly will, and that is 525. Yeah, 527 to be exact. See what the weekly looks like here too. I'm not a big fan of this one. I'm not a big fan of this one right here. Do we have bearish evidence building here? Yeah, we do. 1, 2, 3 drives. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I would be very cautious on this one, to be fair. Again, this one was one of the first movers alongside Bitcoin, so I am inclined. I think that we're seeing like rotations within the majors here, where Bitcoin and some of the other first movers like BNB and I think a few others are getting rotated down and maybe even putting in a bit of a daily reversal here. Oh, that's still a little bit further away. So no, I should not say that about BNB, but I would not be surprised to see another test down to like 500 bucks. If you're talking about medium-term timeframes here, you know, do we play another bounce first? Yeah, I do think so. Do we have bullish evidence on the 4-hour RSI? We do not actually. So what does that typically equate to? Well, maybe another retest of the 560-ish region and then probably another try over the weekend, maybe to like 620. But this one, again, under pressure is long. I mean, this one's a little bit less easy than Bitcoin in comparison, but 680 to the upside is kind of my area right there. I do think that long term, this one does still have highs to go. I mean, this is a very difficult chart to hit on a monthly, for example, but can it play at a pullback? Yeah, of course it can play at a pullback. This thing can pull all the way back down to thinking pull all the way back down to 400 or 420 and still remain long-term macro bullish. I actually do think that this will hit $1,000 probably by the end of the cycle, maybe even before the end of the cycle. But for right now, we are seeing several signs of slowdown here. So I would start to be a little more cautious on this one. By the same token though, you know, if you're looking at the daily here and you're thinking more like medium to short term, here's what I would say. If you do close another daily total below the 21 exponential average right here, which is currently trading basically 600 bucks, just below there, but we'll just say 600 bucks for right now, then I would be playing this one more immediately to the downside, looking for a move down somewhere around, you know, low 500 bucks. By the same token, if you do close above the 21 today, I would look for another bounce attempt, probably somewhere around 630 to 650-ish region, and then we'll come back and analyze this. Probably on Monday is going to be the most relevant for here, you know, for the time being. Let's see, do we have any signal here as well? Yeah, kind of a soft signal, to be fair, not a very deep one. And you could argue that those sort of soft signals, you shouldn't be looking for like great targets on them. And this one's already played out like a 25% down. So I'm more inclined to say that this one, give it a chance to bounce first, then come back to it into next week. 2 days still, like it's actually the 2 day does have a pretty nasty signal building up right here. I do not like that. Yeah, I do not like that. I wouldn't say that it's playable just yet, but man, these things are getting very fucking close here. What about the 3 day? Do we see any sort of divergences building up on the other side? No, the only thing that we see is bearish divergence right now. So yeah, man, I would be cautious on this one. Not as obvious as others though. Very much not as obvious as others. 12 hours a little more downside angled here too, but short-term bouncy. All right, let's see. Frankie Corsetti, how you doing? How you doing, brother? OGN USD, sir, weekly. Thanks. All right, nice. We got OGN USD, Origin protocol on Binance here. And what do we have on the weekly specifically, as you so desire? I like the bounce for now. I'd give it a chance to bounce up a little bit more. Here's the thing. I know you asked about a weekly, but I do need to go down to a daily for this one. Here's a big pivot for you, right around 158. Above there, I'd actually look at this one with bullish goggles once again, looking for short-term moves back to like 215, and then very likely moves back onto the prior high at like $3 plus. But for right now, if this one does want to play out another downside move, I'd be looking somewhere around 94 cents. That's going to be your obvious area, right around the 200 exponential average right here, in line with the last structural low, to be fair too. But if you want to specifically just look at the weekly, which fair enough, I mean, it is what you admittedly asked for. To be fair, how to look at this one right here, a little more difficult to be honest with you. But if I was looking at the weekly, here would be an obvious bullish signal as well. And by contrast, if this does not happen, I'd be looking at this as very, very likely to come down over the next couple of weeks to those lower targets below a dollar, maybe even further down to like 75 cents over time. But here's what it would be. I want to see a weekly closure specifically above the 10 symbol here, which is essentially in line with that horizontal that I just plotted to the upside right there. 158 is that. And if that does happen, I would be looking for a retest of the highs, and I'd probably be looking for new all-time highs coming as well. But for right now, again, kind of pressure on, and I imagine it's going to follow whatever Bitcoin does. This one does have lower lows in place. It does have lower highs in place as well. So it is following in that same sort of downtrend motion, and kind of have to respect that at least for now. Do we have any bullish evidence building up right here? No, we do not. No, we do not on the daily. Maybe on the 12-hour perhaps. Give this. Let's try to find something good on this one. Hey, we do on the 12-hour. There you go. Yeah. So short-term bouncy. I'd be looking for a bounce up to 150, but I really want to see the closure coming into Sunday. That's what really matters most to me. Or I mean, if the daily takes out the 160 level as well, that would also make me short-term, medium-term bullish on this one, and continuation on long-term. So fair enough on that. Kind of opportunity on both sides, to be fair. But a little bit more under pressure here. I'd imagine this one's going to play a lot more with whatever Bitcoin does. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off here? Where have I left off? Holy moly, man. It's another big day. It's another fucking big day, baby. It's another very big day. Oh my God. Okay, this is actually too much. I told myself it's gonna be a nice short day today. What's up, BG? I see you, man. I see you, Lemon Tea, calling out some of the members here. Donaldo, Armand, Mr. Armand, Krown, you an Aries or Taurus? No, man, I'm actually a Virgo, I think, which is like the worst one, apparently. it's like the one that's a bitch and a prude and just completely awful person and very, very difficult to be around, which is probably true if you ask my girlfriend, but I can hold it together for like 2 hours on a live stream. So there we go. That's all you need. Anyways, uni. Okay, symbol UNI. I'm guessing you want it versus US dollar because you do not specify otherwise. Also, no time frame given. So I'm just going to roll with this one, baby. And this one, another easy trade here. Not because, I mean, it's just an easy trade because there's an easy setup right here. You got a long-legged Doge dealer from yesterday. I actually do favor the upside on this one. I like the RSI posturing here, and I do think that this one will very likely take out yesterday's high. If it does, I'd look for a retest of the highs here at about $43 and very likely new all-time highs after that in the coming week or two. By the same token, if we take out yesterday's low, I would be looking for a greater retrace somewhere around your lows from early April, somewhere around about 30 and a quarter-ish region. But for right now, I actually do favor the upside a little bit more. Let's go down to like a 4-hour perhaps. A little bit of bullish evidence come off this last low. You got the easy move on that one already. Do I think that it tries for another move? I actually do. I actually do think that it will. 4-hour TSI would be the next sort of semi-signal I'd be looking for to kind of give me that further bullish bias here. But I really want to see it take out yesterday's high. If that happens, I'd be looking for a retest of highs and very likely new highs coming in next week or two. Okay, Mario says, hey, what's up, Mario? Hey, Amazon on daily and weekly. Okay, I haven't looked at this one in a very long time, actually. Amazon.com on NASDAQ. All right, let's see. And you said weekly specifically and daily. Weekly very likely comes back down here. Maybe in the next like week or two, like low $3,000, anywhere around the last structural low at about March. Yeah, I'd say like 30.30 to 30.50ish region. Now, would I be bearish on this one long term? I don't know if I'd say that, but bearish divergence 1, 2, 3 drives there. Yeah, I do think this one has a little bit of downside. Weekly TSI looks like it wants to turn down here too, and will inevitably with any sort of a closure today below 31.90 actually. So it's looking like it wants to play out a little bit of downside, but am I like long-term bearish on this? No, that's not the right terminology. That's not the right synopsis. Also, daily 200 is coming in around 30.90, so I'm inclined to say that I'd be looking for bounces relatively soon on this one. Actually, I don't hate this one long-term. In fact, as long as it remains above this structural low right here, I don't see anything like long-term bearish about this, just short-term downside moves, and then very likely bounces and probably just continues on with the range and behavior here. And that's all the way down at about 2900-ish region to the upside, more like about, what is this, 3450? Yeah, about 3450-ish region it looks like. Let's see the monthly here too. I'm just curious. Let's see, what does the monthly look like? Yeah, I'm not bearish on the monthly. I'm not bearish on the monthly. I'm, generally speaking, I'm looking for a bullish, I'm looking for a bounce from this region. I mean, we just got a backfill in last month up, and so it depends what sort of time frame you're looking at. But if you're looking at daily, weekly, I'm inclined to say that you're probably more long-term angled here. I still think that this one's fine long-term, probably as like another move here. I'm sure that someone's going to call this double top, but I almost never see double tops work out long term. It's usually actually continuation signal long term, if anything. And this, it's hard to hate here. It's very hard to hate. So, to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this one, maybe a little bit of short term downside there, maybe plays out the range a little bit more, but long term, I do still favor the upside there. BC Golf Page says, can you go over RSI divergence? It always looks like downtrend when you say bullish. I have your course emailed support to purchase the same one, no reply. Wait, what? I have your course emailed support to purchase the same one, no reply. What do you mean the same one? Why would you buy 2 programs, man? You don't need to. There's not going to be any difference. Maybe I'm not understanding that properly. But one of our customer support members is currently sick, so she will not be not be on duty for the time being. Unfortunately, we do have real people still manning the phone lines here, or the email lines. Anyways, okay. So can you go over RSI divergence? So I'm assuming that. Okay, are you in the program or are you in the, or just are you in the RSI? It always looks like a downtrend when you say bull. Yes, it's always going to be. God damn it, man. Look, okay. I would strongly suggest if you are in the TA program, I don't know if you're in the TA program or the neophyte or just the RSI. Fuck, we have too many. But if you're in the TA program, assuming that, I'd go over the RSI module and then I'd go over the divergence mastery module in the bonus section. That one's incredibly important. It's going to tie up a lot of loose ends if you did not understand it from the main module in the base program. So again, go over the divergence mastery. It is in the bonus section of the program. Now, why? Okay, so you say it always looks like a downtrend when you say bullish divergence. That is by definition. You can only ever fucking have, ever. This is a hard set rule by fucking definition. Only fucking ever can you have bullish divergence in a downtrend. Vice versa, you can only have bearish divergence in an uptrend. Hidden divergences always come on the same side of the trend, however. So if it's hidden bullish divergence, then it has to be an uptrend by definition. If it's hidden bearish divergence, it must be a downtrend by definition. But you specifically said bullish divergence here. So if it's bullish divergence, it is always going to come in the context of a downtrend. You need to make a lower low on price action. You need to make a higher low on the RSI oscillator. That is essentially telling you something. It's not like a fucking airy-fairy type bullshit right here. What it is telling you is actually quite logical, in fact. When you're looking at price action, for example, let's go over here to Bitcoin, because I think it already has an example in front of our face. Okay, here we go. Here we have an example of bullish divergence here, right? Between this point and this point. And I actually think it's probably going to make another third drive soon enough anyways. So what is it telling you? So price action is making lower lows. Very interesting. But lower lows against an oscillator, which is essentially printing higher lows right here. What is that telling you? It's telling you that momentum is waning as price action goes lower and lower. If momentum is waning while price action is trending lower, then what would that imply? It implies that the move is getting exhausted. And if the move is getting exhausted, then what are we looking for? We're probably looking for a bounce. So it's just that. It's just that. It's just that. It's no more complicated than that. But what I would suggest to you, if you are indeed in the program, which I'm not sure if you are or not, but if you are, definitely check out the divergence mastery in the back end of the program. It's going to be in the bonus section. That's going to go over it in detail. It's going to drill into your fucking brain, because I did get asked that question. Fair enough. A decent amount, enough times in order to go down and be like, all right, we need to nail this fucking down right now. And that's going to be where you're going to find like a much more detailed analysis of this. It's going to be like 30 to 40 minutes long. And I think that that's just better to direct you towards assuming that you actually have the program, which you say you do, then go over it on a stream like this, which is going to take a long time. Anyways, let's see. Rami says, hey, Krown, can we look at CTSI USD? CTSI, okay. I thought that was a Careticker's indicator over here, but no, it's another ticker. All right, CTSI on the 4-hour daily. All right, we'll go to Binance for this one. And you're looking at a 4-hour right here. 4-hour looks fine. 4-hour looks good for a little bit of continuation drive here. Bullish evidence coming off the low. So once again, you got lower lows on your price action. You got higher lows on your oscillator. What does that tell you? It tells you that momentum is waning to the downside. Bouncy bounce times incoming. And there you go. There's your bouncy bounce time. Anyways, so if you're looking at the daily here, by the way, TSI is turning up as well in this one. If you're looking at the daily here, you got the same sort of trade available as many of the other ones that we've already seen. You got the hidden bullish evidence, which is pretty much all but confirmed here. I'd say, on an aggressive read, which I actually would look at this as such. I would actually target a move back up to about 145 region. By the same token, though, if you do take out yesterday's low, I would be looking for a greater retracement, at the very least down to about 70 cents, probably even more over time. But for now, I respect the upside, man. It's continuation of trend here. I always go with trend first. You got a backfill in the last week open. I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one goes with another test back up towards, well, actually probably around towards your prior high here. 4-hour TSI also turning up as well. I do like this on expanding volatility, so I do respect the bounce for now, in an obvious sort of bias buster to the downside here too, below your current low structure at about 83 cents or so. A rad XX. So is this like ride it out or sell your S coins? I mean, that's for you to decide, man. I'm not here to do your fucking trades for you. I don't know what your natural proclivities are. For myself as a trader, I typically am more short and medium term angled. Recently, I have been trading more long-term strategies, but right now I'm actually going back to the market more or less with my short and medium term sort of trading styles, because I think that things are actually, well, quite opportunistic right now, to be fair. But also, well, mostly because there's opportunity. just cut through all the bullshit. There's opportunity right now, and that's why. So, your question is, so is this like ride it out or sell your shitcoins? Well, the problem is not all shitcoins are going down, and not all shitcoins are showing the same sort of things that Bitcoin is. So I wouldn't say that. I can't say that without actually looking at a singular chart. I mean, it is still chart first. However, Bitcoin does have major influences on just about everything in this market still, I do believe. And then it also matters, like, are you thinking long-term or short-term? Or are you thinking medium-term? And what does that even mean to you to begin with? Does long-term mean like a daily to you? Sometimes a long-term for some people means a fucking 4-hour. I think that's ridiculous. That's a short-term time frame to me on Bitcoin specifically. In Forex, completely different. I'd look at like a 5-minute, as a short-term, but it's not the same to me. So I do trade those differently. So in order to say a blanket statement like that, I think is misleading and not the right thing to do from my perspective, because we have to define terms first, and everyone's gonna have different definitions for that. And we didn't even identify like the right shitcoin to be looking at here anyways, so I can't in good faith give you an answer for that. And also I want to get away from like being a signals person, because I don't think that that's like a healthy thing to be. You don't want to ride or die on something like that. I'm happy to share my analysis. I'm happy to share my thoughts, but I have to draw a line somewhere. Hey, what's up, Elaine? Elaine's back again. Holy shit, she's back. I didn't scare her away just yet. All right, Tesla. Yeah, we can look at Tesla. Hey, whoops, that's Yesla. All right, Tesla, here we go. Tesla yesterday, I think that we were looking at a bit of a bounce, but more danger over time as it does. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd be looking for a little bit of continuation here. I really don't like Tesla's chart. I really don't like what it's doing right here. We do have a lower high in place on the weekly, this is, and we do have a lower low potentially in progress with any sort of a weekly closure today, because we are closing the weekly today below 590 essentially, and we're currently trading 571. I mean, it's not currently trading, it's it's off market hours, but this is looking like a breakdown to me. We also have a 4-hour death crossing coming as well. Maybe the market opens up on a little bit of a short-term rally, but I am not looking at this as good right here. Again, any sort of a weekly lower low close, and I'd be looking for next week to trade down somewhere around probably about $490 to $500, and then potential continuation over time too. But at least for right now, I look at a lot of pressure down. Weekly jewels given a bit of your hot or your short signal too. I don't like what I see here. Monthly is, I wouldn't necessarily call the monthly over just yet, but it does show a little bit of downside. An obvious bounce area would be your 430-ish region to 440-ish region, anywhere around the 21. I think that would be a very, 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 very nice bounce area. But again, you know, we have one of these charts that just absolutely fucking exploded over the last couple of years here. And, you know, would it be healthy to play at a bit of a pullback? Perhaps yes. Perhaps that's relevant. Perhaps that is relevant. But yeah, I do think that there's legitimate concerns in this one right now. Assuming that it closes anywhere below basically even $600 or especially 590, but $600 is kind of like the line in the sand, technically speaking, from a weekly. So yeah. Makajanovic says ANET stonk. We got some stonks. Fuck yeah. All right, ANET. Daily, weekly, okay, on New York Stock Exchange. Closed the highest weekly ever during consolidation. Time to get bullish. Been here since the cats and couch days. Oh my god, the cats and couch days is the best. The best. Yeah, I do think so. This is a very good chart here. It looks like it's freshly breaking out. It's freshly kind of moving. Hidden bullish divergence off that last low around your prior all-time high after a multi-year long consolidation here, going all the way back to essentially February 2018. There's your structure. Let's just take everything off. We only need two major areas right here. We got this area right here. We got, well, actually, we don't really have anything for the higher low structure there, but we do have essentially this right here too. And I'd say that this one's very, 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 very mature and looks like it probably does want to break. The reason why I say that, I'll give you my reasoning here. The reason why is because one, we have hidden bullish evidence over here, and you know, it still has another day left to trade in the week. So I do think that that's going to have a chance right there. And also we do see that BBWP is rather low here. So it is relevant to be looking for expansion. And in this case, where are you going to expand to on a, on a multi-year long, just straight uptrend while you're around your prior all-time high after you just said, you know, closing on new all-time highs on the weekly, very likely to the upside. I like this one a lot, actually. Let's look at the monthly here too. Monthly could play out the range a little bit more. You know, you could definitely see that, but long term, do I think it resolves to the upside? Yes. The question is when, in my opinion. When moon, sir? Short term, if it breaks to the upside, I'd be looking at about 375 or 380 target, we'll say, short term, but very, very unlikely a top. Long term, probably somewhere around $500, give or take a few bucks there. To put it bluntly, I do like this one. Long term, especially. Short term, probably fine too. We'll see where the weekly closes today, but I do favor this one at least for now. Daily could come down again. I mean, maybe it gives you another opportunity at like 290, but long term, I really like this chart. I really like this chart long term. AAA says Ethereum USD favorite sandwich. I do unnecessary carbs, bro. I only eat meat, man. You know what I eat on a daily basis? I eat 1 kilo of salmon and 1 kilo of beef. There you go. All right, Ethereum. Yeah, man, we haven't looked at Ethereum today, so let's go check them out. Ethereum, again, not the most obvious in this market right here. Looking at the daily, you know, would I still give it a chance to kind of base off this region? Yes, but it is starting to look more and more like that this one does want to come. I mean, I've had this area marked off for a while. This is, if I was trading Ethereum, this is where I really want to get things. It doesn't mean that things are going to come down there, but if things come down here, here's my very fucking obvious area, and that's between about 3250 and 3300-ish region. If we look at the weekly, you know, it's a weekly looking a bit toppy. Yeah, it is looking a little bit toppy. Have we hit my $5,000 target yet? No, we have not. Will we very likely hit it long term? Yeah, I do think so. But the question is here, where do those biases come in? Well, I think we have a pretty obvious structure right here, and I'm just going to move this up a little bit. It's going to be right around about 3,600, nice and round and even and easy to remember. As long as the 4 hours above there, I suppose I would favor a little bit of a continuation on the short-term bounce, probably back up to just north of $4,000. You know, I'm getting a lot of bounce signals here, to be fair. We do see that BBWP did get up to 100 percentile on the lows of our current drop down. So very likely we do see contraction into a bounce. And on top of that, we do see that RSI has rejected the bearish control zone. Again, another bouncy signal here, right, as well. And if the TSI, which is actually admittedly still very much downside angled, starts to turn up as well, then that would be my next signal for retest of the highs and probably another march on to $5,000 actually. I still do think that this one very likely does hit $5,000 probably sometime this year. I like the chart long term. You know, is the weekly in trouble just yet? It could be. We still have a couple days left in the weekly close to go here, but remember this one does trade on CME now, so Friday closure very likely does line up with what we see on Sunday. And if it does happen like that, I mean, it should be denoted that this actually is playing off that same trend line that we identified going back from from January 2021, right? And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 tests on it on bearish divergence with massively new highs. And what would, if it closed anything like this, be a doji dildo, we could potentially have a reversal in place, and we could very easily target moves down, next week to low $3,000. I am hesitant to say that, though. I'm very hesitant to say that because this is not a bearish chart here is the problem. This is not fucking bearish. But you always have to overlay conditions for this. So I'm kind of trying to think like what would this look like if Bitcoin does break down? Or maybe this should be my signal to myself with many of these altcoins looking bullish that Bitcoin does not break down here, and maybe Bitcoin does salvage itself once again at the $48,000 to $49,000 level. Could very likely happen. Maybe it equates to a greater bounce off the $49,000 level, but yet again another lower high, and long term we do see that next move down. Could very well be, but overall on this one I do still favor a bounce from this region. Short term, could it come back down and fish a few wicks around that prior low? No, I think actually this one's ready to try some upside from here, at least on the short term. Did you give any time frames on this? No, you did not. So I'm not sure where to go with this one. But I'm finding it very difficult to hate right here, at least for the time being. Typically, these first pullbacks after like a nice massive run are going to be at the very least a bounce buy, and a lot of time it's just one more continuation. This one's very fucking frothy, very, very close, I think, to a major high. But I'd give it the benefit of the doubt right now. Actually, I would give it the benefit of the doubt. Holy shit, man! Jesus Christ, we got some spammers in the chats right now too. Hey, what's up, Tom BJ? It's been a long time. When capitulation? A capitulation is not the right term to use in this market right now. You can't cause people to capitulate when the majority of this market, I'd imagine, is probably like massively in profit. All you had to do is just buy before fucking 2021, basically. So it's hard to get capitulation, but maybe over time, man. Maybe over time. Just not a topic of consideration just yet. All right, let's see what else we got, man. Let's see what else we got around here. Mohammed, what's up, Mohammed? Is there a way to see how much volume of institutional buyers at 50,000 Bitcoin versus 30 to 40,000 Bitcoin? Actually, there is. You know what? There actually is, and we can pull that up. Let me see. What's going to be a good chart to do this with? Yeah, we could do it on. Let's do it on this chart because I can make this one nice and. Okay, we'll take this off for now because this chart's about to get very, very messy here. I believe, is this under my scripts? I think it might be. Let's see. Got all kinds of shit over here. No, it is under that. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay. This is actually a free and publicly available indicator. It's called Krown Trading CME Expo. And this is going to show your positions for institutional traders, for professional traders and retailers as well. You kind of can see how much you can kind of see about where people are positioning themselves. Let me make sure that I know all the colors right here. All right, so we got institutions, professionals, and retailers here. We're gonna go okay, so my institutions is my blue. Let's just make this nice and bright. There we go. Get me bright as fuck. All right, there we go. Purple is going to be the professionals, and retailers is going to be yellow because yellow is for pussies, and I'm a retailer actually. Anyways, okay, so what can we see over here? All right, so you're asking, is there a way to see how much volume of institutional buyers at $50,000 Bitcoin versus 30 to 40? Okay, well, let's see. We do see that around $50,000, which is right in this area right here, we do see that actually, funnily enough, institutions still net short. That would be rather bizarre. Yeah, they are net short here. Then again, this is only on CME. So you have to be thinking, look, if you're an institution, which is essentially a professional, just with a shit ton of money, what are you using CME futures for? Well, you're using them to hedge, right? You're not just putting on fucking blind positions like people on fucking crypto Twitter and crypto Reddit think that they do. That's not only could that be a career ending move, of which obviously it would be right here, seen as you're like $10,000 plus in the red right there. But it'd also be a great time for your compliance or your risk manager officer to call you up and say, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? How come you have unlimited risk to the upside and you're only positioned towards the downside in an asset that's gone up pretty much unabated over the past 10 years if you're looking at a year-to-year basis? Well, probably unlikely to happen. So they very likely do have spot long positions somewhere else. It actually is kind of a good thing. If institutions are net short on your futures contracts, then obviously on the other side, in order to balance themselves out, they will need to be spot long. Obviously, fucking obviously. So I do think that this is maybe a little bit less, less actionable because it doesn't tell the full picture. We don't know institutions' positions on spot price action. I don't think that there's any way to get that information, at least like a trustworthy portion of that information. We can see professionals, we can see retailers. Retailers, we can assume, probably do not have positions on the other side. They probably are trading these futures straight up. And if they are, then we can see that they were getting pretty long actually around this region, but they have been actually letting go of some of their positions since Bitcoin really hit this high right here at about 57, again right here, and again right here. And you can see that this all comes in on a lower high fashion. So we actually do see divergence here for retailers. We also see the same thing, I believe, for professionals as well, although that is going to be a little bit less obvious, but we do have a slight amount between this point and this point, to be fair. So with that in mind, can we see the difference between buyers? I mean, I'm not even answering your question. The 30 to 40,000 level is way over here. So was there an increase? No, there's been a decrease. There's actually been a decrease in buyers, in net that is on CME specifically. We don't know other exchanges, however. So it's very incomplete information. It's very it's very experimental information. But if we're just looking at CME, that is the data, and it's actually been declining since that time, as people are very likely taking profits, as you might guess, after being massively in the fucking green. Anyways, back on over here. Let's see. Abbott Dynamics says copper 1 was a ticker. Sorry, all good, man, all good. But okay, so so it is a different one. All right, well, we can check that out too, I suppose. You are looking at this one. You are looking at MCX. Okay, so you're looking at a completely different exchange, and you're right, it is a completely different chart as well. This one looks toppy to me. Short-term bouncy, long-term toppy. Probably bounces back up, maybe even to 790, maybe even $800. But I do think that this one's looking pretty damn toppy now. Yeah, pretty fucking toppy here. Weekly, nasty. A little bit of a shooting star as it stands right now. Weekly RSI, still no bearish divergence there though, which I would really like to see. So maybe it goes for one more high, but I think that this one's extremely close to a major top. Daily, actually still not hitting into the 100 percentiles, and in fact nowhere near. So you know what? I'm inclined to say probably actually does go for another high, but I'd be very, 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 very defensive against this one, because this one, when this one does reverse, it's going to reverse fucking fast. How do you know reversal on the daily right now? I mean, you have to kind of go back to here to 755. So as long as it's above there, I do favor a little, like maybe another slight high. I don't have targets for that. I think that you're kind of in the last portion of this rally here before a greater pullback, and then I'd be targeting moves down to like probably 650, maybe even beyond. I mean, maybe even all the way down to like 600. So fair enough. But yeah, you are right, and good for following up on that one. It is a completely different chart, in fact, completely different. Because I remember the other one was actually rather bullish. Mile Zhernavec, man, you must be Eastern European, so I can definitely not say that name. Apologies for that, man. Hey, Krown, can you check out Siacoin? Oh my lord, man. Yeah, I forgot that this one even existed for the time being. This was a very popular one in, yeah, the symbol is not SI, it's SC, I believe. Yeah, there we go. All right, sweet. Yep, that's it. I guess Poloniex is going to be the most long-running one on this one, and you want to look at daily, weekly. Yeah, this one was really, really popular back in 2017. Okay, let's go to the daily first. How's daily looking like? Does daily try another bounce from here? I mean, this one's very similar to Bitcoin. Puts in a high over here, lower high right here, low right here. Technically a lower low right now, so fair enough. It is a bit downtrending. I would play this one to the downside. I do think this one very likely comes down somewhere around like 2.45 cent region. We see daily TSI crossing below, or almost about to cross below the bearish buy zone. That will inevitably happen with any sort of a closure below. Actually, as long as it just doesn't close above 0.0377, it looks like. Where are we right now? Oh yeah, that looks rather unlikely, in fact. So it looks like that's kind of inevitable. On expanding volatility, I'm inclined to say this one trades down from here. Let's look at the weekly really quickly. Yeah, natural basing point right around the 21, which is 2.2. Since that is 4 hour under pressure, death crossing coming. Again, if Bitcoin plays at a bounce over the weekend and gets back up to, I don't know, 52, 53,000 bucks, does this thing bounce up to like 3.3, 3.4 first? Perhaps yes, but this one is similar to Bitcoin in that it's showing more signals to the downside. So fair enough on that one. Not the biggest fan of this. Well, fuck. I can't be bearish on the monthly, man. Do I think that it's topped out long term? Probably not. No, probably not. The monthly is still pretty damn good there, but short term does it have some downside? I would be a lot more critical of this one. Yeah. But then again, that also would imply, down to about 2.4, that would be an opportunity, because long term that monthly is not bearish. Anything fucking but bearish. In fact, the monthly makes me really bullish. If anything, long term here, I'd probably be looking for new highs. But, you know, that can take like 2 to 3 months to play out. And we can certainly have a pullback on the daily or weekly beforehand as, you know, there's like 30 dailies in a monthly, right? Anyways, hey, what's up, Spiros? Good night from the great state of Texas. Holy moly, man. Everything's bigger in Texas and better in Texas. And I hear that they got the best barbecue as well. Also, Minor Dude has given his vote of confidence. You mentioned 48 as weekly reversal. Isn't 45 the last weekly higher low? No. So, okay. No, that is not. Fuck. How do I say this properly? Okay. On a daily, that is true for 48. On a weekly, no. The weekly would be 45. Yes. So I think maybe we're talking past each other, or maybe I just didn't do a good job of expressing myself and making it clear. But on a daily, 48 is your last low. Yes. On a weekly, no. It's 45 right here. And even that's a little bit questionable here too, because I mean, realistically, this is your last like obvious higher low at about $32,000. So we are dealing with big numbers here to be fair, but fair enough on that. So hopefully we are clear on that. Yeah, we did talk about Ethereum, but just a little bit later. The times, our lovely timestamps man is going to, we'll put that in maybe like an hour or two after the show. Let me just double check that I actually read this properly. Okay, you mentioned 48 as a weekly reversal. No, 45. 48 is relevant for the daily. Isn't 45 the last high? Yes. That you are right on that. So I think we're just talking past each other there. J3F, what's up, man? Hey, Krown, can we check out Cream USD on the 4-hour and daily? All right, Cream, huh? Creamer USD, FTX and Poloniex. That's a bizarre assortment of exchanges. All right, 4-hour and daily. Let's go to the daily first, see what the greater look on this one is. Another difficult one. Yeah, we got a higher low right here. Yeah, daily TSI could turn up. I don't feel too confident on this one, actually. 4-hour, maybe FTX has a more obvious chart. Let's see. Let's see what we got over here. We'll try this one. Okay, FTX does look a lot more downside implied, but let's see. What does the day look like first? Nope. No, I'm wrong. And I'm glad that I looked at FTX over here. I'll be looking for some short-term upside. I'll be looking for this one to pop back up towards 144 medium term. Above this area right here. Above 175, I'd actually be bullish on this one for retest of your prior highs and probably beyond. We do have weekly higher lows here, I believe. Yeah, kind of. Very sloppy, but yeah, it is in there. Not as obvious on the chart though, and I do not feel that confident on this one. But if I look at the FTX chart, I would be more inclined to look for a bounce here first. Above yesterday's high, and I'd really look for that move up to about 175. That would be the most obvious thing I can look at right there. Okay, sweet. Hambo, what's up, man? Morning Polkadot, USD, daily and weekly. All right, Polkadot, that symbol DOT, USD. And we'll go to Binance for this one. We'll do daily, weekly, as you asked for. Daily is good. I like this one. Again, another altcoin chart that is obviously looking for some upside here. Looking at daily TSI, turning up, even breaking our long-term downtrend. Looking at this right here, even basing off it, very good signals right there. Daily RSI neutral, but that's okay. I'd look for this one to retest the highs, actually, $46. Weekly, very good. Very, very good. I like this one, man. I like this one. This is really causing me to reconsider, though, my analysis on Bitcoin, because the problem is that it's just not... We just don't see this market move contrary to itself for the most part. And we see a lot of altcoins that are a lot more obviously bullish than Bitcoin is obviously bearish. I'm really starting to lean on towards maybe it's just time to be looking at altcoins in general. But yeah, man, I do like this chart for what it's worth right now, especially short and medium term for another test of $46. Above 46, you got your next breakout, and we can come up with some targets, but I imagine it's just going to be the range here, which is about $30 to $46. So you got a natural target somewhere around deeper 50s, low 60s region. It looked good. Looked very good. All right, let's see. Benny B says weak S&P correlation to weak Bitcoin. Hello from San Diego, California. Let's see. Let's go look at NAS over here really quickly. Or no, you want to look at SPY. I think NAS is more correlated with Bitcoin if that's what you're really going for, although all the major indices are kind of correlated with each other. NASDAQ's looking for a bounce, and so is SPY. Again, another signal that makes me really reconsider what Bitcoin's doing here. Rejection off the bearish control zone. I'm really starting to think that I'm going to be wrong about Bitcoin, about having a downside bias on Bitcoin. It's just not what we see across the board here. It's just not what we see at all, in fact. I'd be looking for a short-term upside move, 4180. Well, maybe not 40, maybe not short-term, maybe more medium-term. Short-term, I'd be looking for about 4150-ish region there. It looks good. It looks good, at least for a bounce here, at least continuation of bounce. Do we have any sort of hidden bearish divergence potentially baking up? Potentially yes, but that will be completely negated with any sort of a move above this last little drop right here at about 41.32.5, it looks like. So it continues from here. I don't think Doggy's done. Hey, what the fuck's going on over here, man? Did my stream do an excellent connection? So I'm inclined to say, what's going on here? What's going on here? I'm seeing that it's buffering right now. Is it okay? So we're good. Are we good or not? Stream is down. Oh fuck. They crashed the stream. Those bastards are at it again. I think we're back though. I think we're back. Okay, we're back. All right, sweet. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what the fuck that was. Apologies for that. But I think we're all good. At least from what I see on YouTube, we're still good to go. I don't know when exactly it started to crash down. Did we get through SPY over here? Because if we did, I'm looking for some short and medium term upside on SPY, 41.50, and then probably continuation into next week about 41.80. Why rug pull? We just rug pulled the fucking stream, man. It's over. Just kidding, man. Let's see. We got Alex L over here. Krown, been watching you since 2018. Holy shit, man. your sub count is tracking Bitcoin price very well. Very suspect. Hopefully not to the downside as well, but that's okay. Oh my God, the scam shillers are in the comments too. How crazy is that, man? How fucking crazy is that? All right, let's see. Abbott Dynamics says, "I will never troll you, sir." My fucking man. Yeah, it looks like I just read that wrong, so my bad on that one. Abbott Dynamics says, "Krown, where to trade Asian paint in America?" Funny you mentioned Sunny and Philly. I was going to suggest you try. Oh, Eastbound and Down is one of my favorite shows of all time, man. The first season of Eastbound and Down is like the best. Every scene with Stevie Janowski is amazing. And if you haven't already, go onto YouTube, type in Eastbound and Down, deleted scenes, Stevie Janowski, and you'll hear his great story about how he raped a 90-year-old unconscious woman. Very disturbing. Very fucking disturbing. Also hilarious too, but yeah, hopefully that's not real. Then again, that actor for Stevie Janowski, like he's so fucking good. I honestly wondered if he was, I don't know if he had some sort of condition or something, but apparently he doesn't. Apparently it's like, he's completely fine. But yeah, man, big fan of Eastbound and Down. One of the best. Cyrus King knows the bloopers from Eastbound. Yeah, they're great, Poncho. They're great. They're great, Mr. Empire. Fucking phenomenal. Classic. Like literally one of the funniest shows of all time, I think. Okay, let's see. It looks like I've missed some comments here. Let me see if I can pull them back up. Okay, I see we got Michael Crooks. I'll get to you in a second, but let's see. Did I miss anything else? I did. Yes. Okay, we got Alex L there too. Oh man, I can't pull anything else up other than that. So hopefully, okay, if I did miss you before Alex L, please just repost your comment. I'll try my best to get back to you, but unfortunately, because apparently the YouTube stream cut out there for a second, I'm actually not able to pull back up a whole hell of a lot of things over here. All right, let's see. Wait, now we have like Jesus preachers here too. I mean, that's great, you know, if you believe, that's awesome. But I don't know, man. I think you're trying to feed a dog bone to a cat right now to a lot of people in this chat, unfortunately, Mr. Ryan Calhoun. But hey, you know, all the more power to you. It's all good. Make your money, do good. You know what? I can completely agree with that, my friend. I can completely agree with that. So, you know, let's just leave it at that, brother. Alex L says, Krown, can you take a look at Luck Pancake Swap? Is that $ Luck? Okay, let's see. Luck USD? No, maybe I just type in Pancake Swap. I think it's just symbol cake, right? Yeah, cake. The old cakeys. Yeah, there we go. Binance on the hourly. Why the hourly? Wow, this one got really hammered yesterday. Jesus. Hourly down. I'd be looking for a retest of the lows here. 28.5. This one looks. This one is probably one of the worst charts that we've seen today. Does it bounce again from there? Yeah. Do you think that it bounce again from there, like 20.5 to 28.75? Other than that, though, I do not have an opinion on this chart long term. I mean, yeah, you got some potential hidden bullish evidence in place, but you got a long way to go to confirm that. I do not trust this chart. In fact, if anything, I'd be looking down on this chart. I do not like it. But short term, you only asked about the hourly. So short term, I'd be looking just for another retest of these lows, like 20.5. Okay, sweet. Let's see, what else did I miss? Holy fucking moly, man. Busy day. Very long day, too. What's up, Michael Crooks? Hey, Krown, can you check out Tesla? Sure, man. Yeah, we already looked at it earlier. I can't promise that I'll have anything new to say about it, though. Weekly, I think you're gearing up for a Tesla 55, somewhere down around like low $500. But technically speaking, I should wait for the weekly close today. I really don't like yesterday's daily close. Probably opens up on a bounce, maybe like 580, maybe even tests around 600 again. But barring any sort of a weekly close above 600, I would be looking for this one to continue with the downside into next week, somewhere down to like low 500 and probably more over time. Major drives of bearish evidence off the highs. TSI still angled to the downside. I think that this one probably comes down a little bit coming in next week. But we'll see how this week closes, and then that'll really set in the bias to come. But for now, I think that one's under extreme pressure right there. All right, so we got all that. Oh, wait, nope. I see Abbott. Krown, the reason your streams aren't short anymore is because you appreciate that. Yeah, man, it's a fun time. I really do enjoy this. And like I said, I got a ton out of this, man. I got a ton out of this. Like, if I wouldn't have gone around and looked at all these altcoins that people have been requesting here, I think it's really caused me to reconsider my analysis on Bitcoin, because we just don't see that long term where this market, disagrees with each other. So I'm starting to really, I think I'd go back into protection mode on Bitcoin and be a little bit more beta with my commentary there. I think I'd say something more along the lines of, after going around the altcoin market now, I'd say, hey, look, yes, there is pressure down on Bitcoin right now. Yes, I do think that Bitcoin puts another wick in somewhere around like 48 to 48,500ish region. But until we actually break below this on a 4-hour closure, that being $48,000 even, I would be hesitant to be looking for further downside. I still think that regardless whether you're bullish or bearish, this weekend very likely does bounce back up. Bounce targets could very easily be at $52,000. Anywhere between there and 53 and a half is fair game. Yes, there are a lot of very concerning signals on Bitcoin right now. So if the downside does happen, it probably doesn't happen until next week. So I do think regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, you probably see a bounce over the weekends. Not so sure what happens today, though. I mean, there's a lot of really fucking bad signals on Bitcoin. That's what makes this very difficult. I'm sure someone will call out the death cross on the 4-hour here too. This is not a good example of one right there. So if anything, that'd actually be kind of a signal on the other side, if anything. All right. I'll move on from there. Yeah, man. Yeah, your name is Steve too. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you have to watch that, man. It's like one of the best. It's one of the best ever. Go Lucky, what's up, man? Hi, bruv. We got Doggy69 pumping right now. You reckon it'll dump over the weekend? No, I think that it continues over the weekend, and if it's gonna dump, it happens next week. I still look for 57 to, I think it was 58.5 cent. I think is very likely over the weekend. Because I just want to say pump and dump like a one night stand. I mean, it could. I mean, look, man, if Bitcoin pulls itself back up here too, it's going to be kind of difficult to be bearish on basically anything realistically. So, if you're just specifically asking about that though over the weekend, no, I do not think so. I think that Doggy carries out the hidden bullish divergence off of the last daily low that we confirmed. I think as of last night, over the weekend, probably 57 to 58 cents region. Maral Gandhi says, can you check out Matic to Tether? Sure, on the 4-hour. Okay, Matic, okay, and you want to be looking at it on the 4 and daily. 4-hour looks very good. 4 hours continuation. I'd be looking for a retest of the highs here, 120. Daily is just general continuation, very fucking good here. Daily RSI telling the story right now, very, 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 very strong into the bullish control zone with the exponential as well, also trending above it. I really fucking like this, alongside daily TSI freshly turning up on basically your per all-time high. All time frames bullish as far as I'm concerned here. Let's maybe go to the weekly as well. Yeah, I'd be looking for more upside here. Do we have any targets on this one? I'm sure we do. We've looked at this one plenty of times before. Yes. What is this, like 125? 125 is like a natural short-term target. Realistically, though, I'd be looking somewhere just north of like 130, 135 region. It's where I'd be looking for maybe a greater pullback on this one. But for now, I still favor the upside, at least short and medium term here. It's looking good. Looking good, sir. Water, sir. I'm actually good on water today, man. My allergies seem to be playing nicely as well. So this is a good start. Cyrus King says, can you take a look at the 2013 to 2014 bull run, and could we be in a similar scenario? Actually, I've been saying that for a while now. Yes, I do think that. And will you take a shot with me? I'm not a big drinker, but if you have whiskey, man, I actually do like whiskey. So yeah, man, if you find yourself in Helsinki, we'll take a shot together. Just promise not to fucking drug me and rape me, and we're all good. But yeah, I think it's actually very similar to this area over here. I think that this is probably the most likely thing to happen. This is also why I don't think it's out of the question that Bitcoin dumps down to like low $40,000 or upper $39,000 region. That is around where the 200 is right now, or is it? Yeah, around there between about 39 and 42 right there. So I still, I do think that that can very well happen, but I don't think that the run is done overall. Again, none of the things that I look for on the macro scale have been signaled off. None of them, not even fucking one of them has been signaled off, except for the pi cycle indicator. But I mean, maybe that thing ends up being right, which would be hilarious. But for right now, I do think if Bitcoin came down to these levels, I think it'd be a major opportunity. I don't think that the long-term run is over. And if we're looking at this in the context of 2013 or 2014, I mean, does it have to happen exactly like this? No, because it's already not happening exactly like this, right? I mean, you see this one putting in a parabolic high right here, and then never even really like retesting it again. Whereas you go to our current price action, and you see that the high is, I mean, it's like a grind up against this region. That's typically not how you put in like macro cycle highs. It can be a major high, yes, and a major high could very easily trade down to 39 or 40,000 bucks. But do I think that it's going to be a macro high? No, I don't. So if you're just essentially asking like that, we have essentially 2 cycles with maybe half a year to a year of short interim in between. Yeah, I kind of do think so. I think that the longer Bitcoin builds a base around 50,000 bucks, the better. That's my general disposition here, and equates to a greater extension over time too, to the upside. Mr. Phi, what's up, Mihadal? Sir, predictions on total, sir. Oh, you want to look at the market cap here? Okay, we can check that out really quickly. We got total market cap right here. Let's see. Looks good. Looks a lot more similar to the altcoin market cap, or sorry, the altcoin sector that we've been looking at in general, with a lot of the ones trying to put in higher lows here. So I would play it the same way. I look at yesterday's daily doji dildo right here as playable, in the sense that if you take out the top side or the bottom side, I would look for a trending move to emerge from that. Meaning that if we take out the bottom side, I would look for a move all the way down to 8.36 trillion, that is, and to the upside, I'd just be looking for continuation, prior all-time high, and then very likely new all-time highs. Weekly, it's still okay. I mean, weekly, I'd still kind of favor the long-term upside here. I don't hate this one as it is. Holy moly, man. What's up, Emerald? Good day to you as well, sir. Step perp, 4 hour. Okay, a step perp. All right, this is a new one. That man, fucking FTX is like everything. Here we go. All right, so it is. Whoa! It only goes down, man. Holy shit! We got the worst chart of the day award already, or maybe not already. It's like at the tail end of this. Worth going long. That's right, man. It's worth going long if you absolutely despise money. 100%. Look, man, this thing's like never even gone up. At some point, it's going to get a pity rally, but I would not be looking for anything resembling a long-term reversal in this thing anytime soon, man. This is a garbage pile of a chart. This is a fucking dumpster fire. Could you see some short-term upside moves? Yes, but you did not give a time frame on this, so I'm. Oh no, you did 4 hour. I think you just got your last bounce there, man. It's continuations, motherfucker. Yeah, I mean, all rallies in this one very likely get short term or live short term. Maybe as much as like 160 on that next one, but I don't like it long term, no doubt. Yanger says, can you take a look at ENJ coin? Yeah, actually, this one's typically quite popular. I'm surprised to see it not get called out in the last like week or so. ENJ over here, very similar to Bitcoin as well, at least on lower term timeframes. Yep, on the daily as well. Okay, so here's what I'd say about this one. You got an obvious pivot, and you got the obvious things that are going on in Bitcoin as well that I don't like, actually. You got lower high on the daily, you got a lower low on the daily, you even got another lower low right here. So you got 2 lower lows, you got 2 lower highs, and you see momentum turning down. You see daily RSI is actually kind of in a bouncy territory, to be fair, right there. But on expanding volatility, I don't like that signal, man. I don't like that. If this one wants to trade down, it can very, very easily come down to like 150-ish region. Problem is, if Bitcoin pulls itself up by its bootstraps here, does this thing follow with it? Probably does. At least short term, I'd be looking for a move maybe back to like 225. Generally speaking, I am looking for a bounce on Bitcoin into this weekend. Did you give a time frame on this one? No, you didn't. So I don't know exactly where you want me to go on this one, but I'd say something like this, man. You could make an excuse for it as long as it remains above this pivot right here. Oh, actually, I already have it charted. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's good. All right, we can just keep this one right here. I'm gonna put a nice blue box right there, and we can see how this one works over time. But as long as it remains above this area right here, I'm essentially just looking for a bounce, and I'd be respectful of it, just within the context of this market. If I'm just looking at this thing, I don't like it. At least for like the long term. Short term, very likely bounce back up. 220, 225 is certainly not out of the question. Long term though, if you break this area to about 195, I'd be looking for this one to really come down to like 150 and play out some nasty moves. What's up, Alexander? Ethereum Classic USD. All right. No time frame given. I'm going to the daily. We'll go to Binance and let's see what the daily looks like. Daily looks like it's a bit of a bouncy bounce here. I'd probably be looking for a move up to like 105, 106 region. Again, a lot of altcoins looking for bounces here. Hidden bullish evidence potential on the daily as well between this low and this potential low here, but it is not confirmed just yet. Above yesterday's high, it will be. And yes, I would be looking for a move. Yeah, 105, 106 with potential for more. Would look decent, would look good. See what the weekly looks like. The weekly is not bearish, man. The weekly is not bearish. I'm inclined to say this one continues up here. I think when Bitcoin bounces over the weekend, you're going to see a lot of these altcoins either try for their prior highs or make new all-time highs. A lot of them are really looking like continuation moves and higher lows from yesterday. Check-in says, yo, Krown, what's up, man? My check-in GOGL on Euronext. Okay, GOGL. What is this? Golden Ocean Group. Okay, this thing on Oslo. All right, fair enough. All right, fair enough. Let's see. Lots of bearish evidence come off that high, but you already got the ease move down to the 21. Then again, momentum turning down alongside with it. Let's see what the week looks like. Did you give a time frame? You did. Weekly and monthly. Okay, so you're way up there. Okay. Long term, I actually do like this chart. Short term, however, do I think it's going to sell off this region? Yeah, I do. You got your high lows on the weekly here, and I presume on the monthly as well. But I don't think this thing's ready to break out just yet. Let's look at the monthly. The monthly is a clean rejection of it. I think this one plays within this range for like a long time. I think you're probably going to be in here for like probably at least another year or two, filling out this area right here. This area, right, long term, I actually do think that this will break out to the upside. I like the higher lows here. I do like the volume on that last move to the upside, but I don't think it's ready to break through just yet. Monthly is not too helpful on this one. Weekly is getting extended there. It's actually still okay. What about daily? Yeah, daily probably gives another few tries here, but I don't think it's ready to break out just yet. Long term, I do like it though. Very, very long term, that is. But, based off the daily, which you did not ask for on the daily, to be fair, I would actually be looking for this one to give another try to the upside, but also rejection and then come back down into range and just bore the shit out of you for like another year or two, probably. It's going to take some time, man. But it sounds like you are more long term minded. And, for what it's worth, the information that you have right here is decent enough. Okay. Arjun has left a super chat, but no comment. What's going on there, man? Question above the super chat. You bastard! How dare you? No, it's all good, man. All right, let's see where. Oh, couldn't you just repost it in there? Could you just repost it, man? I don't see where it is. It's been hidden away somewhere. I don't see it, man. Could you please just copy and paste it? I'm not gonna be able to. It doesn't look like I can find it, man. What's up, Supernova? Supernova says, I think you are right about dump Krown as Bitcoin dominance poised to rise. Alt are going to get wrecked even more. Versus their Bitcoin parents, very likely, yes. I'll wait for Arjun to repost his comment there, and then that's going to be the last one. But unfortunately, I don't see you anywhere above, man. I'm trying my best right now, but if you just simply repost it, we can get on with our lives here and be all good. I see Mr. Z's here. Is that the legend Ali Z's? Where is he? Where the fuck did he go? I just lost him. God damn it. I like that guy. Always a fun chat with him. Come on, man. All right. Ball swap. Ball swap. Is this a real thing? All right. Well, I've learned that oh my God, it's a real thing. I've learned that in cryptocurrency land, it's probably real. If in doubt, if it sounds like a scam, it's probably real. Look, man, this thing barely trades. I don't have a strong opinion on this at all. Just looking at the daily, barely has any. Look, man, this is a 4 hour right here. This thing goes like hours or half a day to a day on end of not trading at all. Now, if you put a gun to my head, is there some actual bullish signals here? I guess some phantom bull div here. Don't know if that's gonna fucking work out. I do not trust any technical analysis on this thing, to be honest with you, man, at all. But if you put a gun to my head, I suppose I would say maybe a short-term move back up to like 22,250. But look, man, technical analysis is as imperfect as it is certainly a lot less reliable, if ever reliable, when you have something that barely has any history, and for the history that it does have, it doesn't even fucking trade. So unfortunately, man, I really don't think that I have an opinion that's going to be helpful in this case. If anything, just short-term upside move. It would be all that I'm comfortable with talking about there, and then that's pretty much it. Okay, I think we are at the end of the end right there, my friends. Just one quick last look on Bitcoin. Abbott says, thanks. Hey man, my pleasure. And yes, Elsa, I'll definitely let Elsa know. And and she'll pull through, man. She's a very strong girl. She's a very strong girl, getting getting into an unfortunate situation right now. But she's gonna pull through. She's gonna be fine. And she really appreciates the well wishes as well, man. Like, it really means something to her because, you know, she's Finnish, and Finnish people, they're not like accustomed to other people, like one, talking to them, and two caring. So there you go, man. It's actually really, really nice. So very, very much appreciate that, man. All right, fellas. So yes, you know, looking at Bitcoin here again, I would still be looking at $40,000 as a bit of a short-term pivot. I think that regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, Bitcoin will bounce up on the weekend, somewhere around 51, maybe even 52 to 53,000 bucks. I am cautious on this one coming in next week, though. I think that I would take back a few of my prior statements from earlier in this stream here as being a lot more harsh on Bitcoin short term. I think that, yes, there are a lot of concerning things going on right here. You know, we see momentum oscillators across the board pointed to the downside for Bitcoin specifically, but we don't see the altcoin. We don't see a lot of the altcoins doing the same thing. In fact, we see a lot of the altcoins poising for a continuation. But it's very difficult to ignore this signal right here on the daily TSI. Very difficult to ignore the expanding volatility on a continuation of downtrend right there. And it's very difficult to ignore what's going on the RSIs that dance around the bearish control zone. Once again, which I do not like. Daily Joule is getting negative slopes all the way around. Not a signal, but is concerning. And while Bitcoin probably does play out a bounce of the 55 right here, you know, any sort of a bounce that fails to get back above 58 on a 3-day is just another lower high. And with CME closing today, I'd say that CME anywhere below, well, anywhere below this low, of course, 47,200, that is, it's going to look pretty fucking nasty. I mean, the CME chart really, I really don't like here. I really don't like the CME chart right here. I really fucking don't like it. And I'll just say that straight up. The only reason why I'm being lenient on Bitcoin right now is because we see a lot of altcoins that are more obviously poising for another try towards prior highs, and a lot of them actually in new breakouts too. So I'm inclined to say that Bitcoin probably bounced over the weekend while CME is not trading, and then altcoins kind of make their move, and then coming in next week, if Bitcoin wants to play out that downside move, that would be the time. So with that said, it's a bit of a cautionary time right now. I'm going to salute you. I want to massively thank everyone for coming on out. It's been a pleasure, man. It's really been the highlight of my well, I guess my time thus far. So thanks again for joining in. I want to wish you well. Take care.